Make it big. Like the countdown stopped. Here we go. Oh, that's pretty decent, dude. It's the Book of Oblivion. The Oblivion Plains, is it? Oh, he's a big boy. Gates of Oblivion. Nice. Ah, let's go, dudes. Looking becoming a PC man instead of a PlayStation. Dude, it's a good shift to have. And you always have your PlayStation as well on hand if you're not going to get rid of it. Oh, volume up, boys. And not too much. It's only pissed you off. Why have they pissed you off, buddy? '21 Golden Reveal.
Welcome to the 2021 Elder Scrolls Online Global Reveal. I'm Pete Hines, and along with the team at ZeniMax Online Studios, we're excited to show you what's in store for the coming year. We have a lot of exciting things to reveal, so let's get started right away with the man himself, studio director, Matt Firewall. Hi, Matt.
Thanks, Pete. Hey, everyone.
Now, Matt, before we start, tell us where we are.
We're in Hunt Valley, Maryland, inside the global headquarters of ZeniMax Online Studios. With the entire ESO team working from home, I thought it'd be a great moment to give the ESO community an inside look at the ZOS studio. Pull back the curtain, show you where the magic's made.
And it's a lot of magic, Matt. It's 6 years of content.
It's amazing, isn't it? After all this time, we're still growing. We're standing in a suite that was built out for the expanded ZOS team, and it hasn't even been occupied yet due to the quarantine.
Now, you and I were talking about this earlier. The Elder Scrolls Online is the most successful Bethesda game over the last 4 years. That's pretty big.
And while that's exciting,
That's
I'm
huge.
even more excited about how we got here, about everything we've done so far. Almost 18 million of you have now played ESO, with 3 million of you joining the game in the last year. In 6 years, we've taken Elder Scrolls Online
Massive.
from a PC exclusive to currently
Santi
running on
Online
5
Keens.
platforms, and
Ooh,
will
dude.
soon be expanding to
That's
next-gen
just
consoles.
games that you're playing there, right?
You, the ESO community, have never been stronger. You're journeying through Tamriel in numbers that rival our console launch in 2015. You're coming from all over the world, from 240 different countries in the last month alone. In fact, some of our strongest communities are not
If you're watching
native
this, make
English
sure you
speakers.
type in chat to
ESO
get
is
a
truly
chance to
a
get
worldwide
somebody.
phenomenon,
FYI.
and we're still growing and thriving. That includes Tamriel itself. ESO has literally become the biggest Elder Scrolls game by so many different measures. The most landmass, the most stories being told, hundreds of hours of crafted quests. We've added to the lore in Tamriel in ways that will affect all future Elder Scrolls games.
So these studio renovations, which are really nice, but they're not just to make the office space nicer. You mentioned earlier you're growing as a team.
Absolutely. Just like the game, the ESO team is growing. We're expanding to bring in new developers so we can make more and better content. We're also updating and replacing all of our game servers this year. to
So
ensure that
many
ESO
people
runs
stood still in the
smoothly
game
for
right now.
many more years.
Now, Matt, it's obvious the pride that you have in your studio and everything that your team has built, but what does all of this mean for the players?
Well, we've created a world for you, a virtual world with the best community in gaming. A place that welcomes new players, a world
Kiddo,
where you
welcome
can go
indeed.
anywhere at any time with
Kiddo,
anyone
how's it
you
going, dude?
choose, regardless of your
It's been a
level.
very long time, buddy.
From Cyrodiil to Somerset, elsewhere to
Key, we're just
Skyrim,
watching the
and
reveal
beyond.
on the
Dozens of
new
unique
Elder
places,
Scrolls,
many
which is
as large
tonight.
as
The
a
reveal
standalone
just is
game.
live now on
Thousands
Twitch
of
channel.
characters with real stories
It's gonna be
to
this
tell,
year's,
infinite ways to
sort of
play
like chapter.
together or solo. For many years, we've been telling some of the best stories in gaming, taking millions of you on adventures both large and small, capturing your imagination as you adventure through Tamriel.
So, in other
So
words,
much
I
hype.
feel a marketing pitch coming on here, but if you haven't played the Elder Scrolls
dude.
Online yet,
Yes, it's the proverbial best time to start.
I mean, it's just
now, Matt, I
recap,
know you
right?
could talk all day about your studio, including some exciting plans for the future of ZOS that we're not ready to share yet. But
They're
what
not
we're
really
here to
abiding the
talk
2
about
meter
is
distance.
2021 and what's coming
Unless
to the
they're
Elder
green
Scrolls
screened on each
Online.
other.
So, what do you got for us?
We're going to take you deep inside
reckon
the
they green
gates of
screen?
Oblivion year-long adventure, including a first look at the big new chapter, The Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood. We'll share new details on the setting and the story, and we got some great gameplay to show off.
Now, Matt, before you go, I
Scruffy, I
understand
know
you've
you're
got
hyped
something
about
special
this.
for the community.
Indeed, I do.
You need to type in chat,
Let's
Scruffy,
get
to link
started
your
with the world
free
premiere
pet.
of our ESO Gates of Oblivion trailer. Check it out now.
Let's go. By the way, if you're not into the game, these are really good trailers anyway. They just do them so well. Book of Oblivion. Do you reckon that guy's the saviour? They're like small movies. Oh, they are, yeah, definitely. Let's go. She knew what she was doing. She meant to be captured. Oh, no. This game's coming out. This is this year's DLC. This is this year. This has already been done. This will be out in like March. Yeah. No, they're good. They're not like Overwatch 2. They're all... The arrows are doing nothing. Do not want to be here. Oh, this is where the big dude turns up. Oh. Oh, God, he's huge. Who is that?
Wow, there is a lot to take in that trailer. Fortunately, I have the perfect person to tell us about what we just saw, and that would be creative director Rich Lambert. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Pete. I'm super excited to be here, and a big hello to everyone around the world.
So, Rich, let's start with somebody that stuck out like a sore thumb in that trailer. And you know me, I'm not great at lore, but even I can tell Mehrunes Dagon when I see him. So, what is he up to?
Well, he's up to his typical princely things. He's the prince of destruction, change, revolution. and he is up to trying to conquer Nirn. You know, this is what he thinks is his realm of Oblivion, and it's rightfully his. And so we'll have a lot more details on that in just a bit, though.
So if he's after Nirn, that means everybody in Tamriel is in danger, right?
Always.
Can't wait to hear more about that. But there's some other
Always.
familiar faces in there as well, including a trio of pretty powerful women that we see in there. Tell us more about them.
Well, the Bosmer in Pigtails, that's Evely Sharparrow. She's from Orsinium, and she has been one of the most requested bringbacks for a very, very long time. There's Lyrinth, who is a Dromora, and she was from the base game and Imperial City. And then we have a character who I will call the Imperial, and she represents the player, or the player's journey throughout the entire storyline.
But we're not just seeing familiar faces, we're also seeing a really iconic location. And it's pretty clear from the name of our year-long adventure, we're headed
great.
back to Oblivion, the setting for the
Did you
Elder
guys
Scrolls
ever
4.
play the Elder
But we don't
Scrolls
start
Oblivion?
The journey
Elder
in the
Scrolls 4?
Deadlands, so where are players going to visit first?
You're going to spend a lot of time in the Blackwood area, and this area reaches from the southern portion of Cyrodiil all the way east to Shadowfen. And the main story takes you to bits and pieces of the Deadlands. You'll get to see it, but really the focus on the Deadlands will be in the fourth quarter.
So you're going to get a little bit of Deadlands early on, but the full experience is really going to happen later
Deadlands
in
at
this
the end of the
year-long
year.
Well,
adventure.
and this is our take on Mehrunes Dagon and his realm. You know, we're 800 years in the past, so it's going to look and feel just a little bit different.
Now, in real time, it feels like about 800
Good game,
years
dude.
since you and I worked on the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It was only 15 years ago. It just feels like a lot longer. And I think that was
15
your
years.
first game at Bethesda.
Yeah.
What do you remember from working on Oblivion so long ago?
It was such a blur. I remember the hype being crazy, and I think one of my favorite moments was that very first E3 that we did, where you know, poor Todd was just absolutely tired from doing like 100 different walkthroughs every day.
Do you happen to remember the very first day of E3 when we were showing off Oblivion that the AC went out? In
right.
our half of the convention center,
right,
so
yeah.
we had fans that we had found to try and keep the room cool, but the PC was running so hot from all of the demos. We had the fans pointed in the PC. We were like, everybody else can fan themselves.
Right.
We can't have the PC crashing. But you're right.
Game
the
is at heart,
expectations
right?
were amazingly high for Oblivion that year.
They were almost unrealistic at the time, and I think you had a quote, something along the lines of, the expectations were so ridiculous that people thought we were going to cure blindness and heal the sick, or something like that.
Sounds like something I would say, right? But okay, but back to this year's game. So we touched on the big bad, and we touched on some of these iconic characters, and we talked about the locations a little bit, but the question that I have next is, why are we here? What is going on in the Gates of Oblivion that
Why are we
brings us
here?
here?
Well, this is all about Mehrunes Dagon, and since the first era, he has been trying to take Tamriel over. And this story that we're telling this year is essentially a deal with the devil, deceit, and Daedra. So without spoiling things too much, I'll kind of set the tone where the Longhouse Emperors entered into a pact with Mehrunes Dagon. And they wanted to rule all of Tamriel in his image. And so he decided that he would create 4 ambitions, or weapons of mass destruction, to give them that power. And of
Didn't
course,
these get broken
things
up,
go
right?
wrong, and it's up to the player to discover what this plan is,
I
what
love
the
a bit of
ambitions
concept
are,
art.
and neutralize them to save the world.
I just want to say that I can't believe a deal with Mehrunes Dagon went sideways like that. Is this a first in Elder Scrolls history?
No.
Okay, so I know many of you out there are big fans of the storytelling in ESO, and so we want to take a minute to hear from our lore master to find out more about Blackwood and the story of the Gates of Oblivion adventure.
I'm so slow when it comes to lore. I try and keep up, but it's just such a huge game, this.
All right, let me set the stage for what life is like in Tamriel during the Gates of Oblivion adventure, particularly the regions you'll be exploring. For you Oblivion fans, we're about 800 years in the past. Prior to the events of Test 4, a wise emperor named Uriel Septim VII ruled the empire in a golden age of power and prosperity. Until he got stabbed by Dagon cultists. Cultists, right? They're the worst. But that's another story. During the age of the Elder Scrolls Online, things are a little rougher around the
You
edges.
don't. It is so
Petty
much. They're
kings
just
and grand alliances have been fighting
trying to
over
keep
Cyrodiil
up with
for
it all the
years
time. It's just
during a period
massive.
called the Interregnum. It's total.
I mean, I try to struggle with our own
No one
history,
sits
let
on the
alone,
throne.
you know, the made up
Blackwood,
in-game video
the
one.
region you'll be visiting, is in southern Cyrodiil, straddling the Great Niben River and stretching east into the Argonian homeland of Black Marsh. It's a tough place to live. Get swampy roads, spooky alien ruins.
See, what I
giant
love about
alien
this
frogs,
is
all
you
good.
notice that all the
Even
adventures
so,
all wear
its
the
location at
same
the mouth of
armors. They're
Topeka Bay
like
make it strategically
themed armor
important.
sets,
So you
whereas
got a
in
mishmash of
game it's
different
just
cultures all living
a
eyeball to
mess.
eyeball here. Argonians, Imperials, and even Khajiit from elsewhere cobble out a messy piece as best they can while wars rage all around. Here's a few of the factions you'll run into during your quests. First, there are the defenders of Leyawiin, the Ivory Brigade. These battle-tested soldiers serve the Chamber of Legates. It's kind of a ruling council for the city. Leyawiin's been on the receiving end of a bunch of invasions and occupations. The Ivory Brigade has no intention of letting that ever happen again. Then we have the Blackfin Legion, an army of Argonians loyal to Keshu, a big-time veteran of the Alliance War and an important figure in Argonian society. They're based in Gideon and protect Argonian interests in the region. We also have one of my favorite factions, the Sul'Zan. They're a deranged tribe of Argonians who worship Mehrunes Dagon as the true egg child of Sithis. You know I love my Argonians. Combine them with one of my all-time favorite princes, Mehrunes Dagon, and you got a stew going. I'm super excited for everyone to dive into this year's story.
There's your hype.
Sure.
There's your hype, Scruffy. He's got his stew going. Let's go.
Thank you, Lore Master Lehman. Before I get back to my conversation with Rich, let's talk about how you can get started on your Gates of Oblivion adventure. This year's chapter, Blackwood, is available for pre-purchase right now. Head to ElderScrollsOnline.com or your favorite online retailer and pick it up. Everyone who pre-purchases will immediately receive an in-game mount, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on this year's. We've got a new mount type this year. Get ready to travel across Tamriel on a Welwa. And anyone who pre-purchases before March will immediately receive a new and exclusive in-game pet. We have a few different ways to pre-purchase, catering to both new and longtime vets. Plus, a bunch of exclusive in-game items you'll get when the Blackwood chapter launches later this year, including an outfit style, crown crate, and more. And with the digital collector's edition upgrade, you can get even more awesome in-game exclusives. We've got all the info you need on our website, so be sure to check it out and get your exclusive mount and pet today. Okay, Rich, let's tell folks a little bit more about what they can expect.
This is another year-long story where all 4 major content releases help tell that story of the Gates of Oblivion. And it's going to be a very familiar cadence as well, where we have a dungeon DLC in Quarter 1 and Quarter 3. We have the chapter in Quarter 2, and then the 4th quarter wraps up the entire season with a story DLC. And the very first is called Flames of Ambition, and that's the dungeon DLC.
Now, what if dungeons aren't my thing, or I don't have 3 friends to run it with?
We have a couple of different things that you can do. We have the Dungeon Finder tool that will help you get into those dungeons in a pickup group.
Because I bought the game.
You could join a guild
Steam,
using the Guild Finder that will help you find people of similar interests. Or, if you're not really into dungeons at all, you don't have to worry about it because the dungeons help set the tone and some of the framework for the story, but they aren't mandatory.
Gotcha. Now, we always talk about how the Elder Scrolls Online is welcoming to new players, both as a game and as a community. But if I'm a new player, how do I get involved with the Elder Scrolls Online? Where do I start?
I think you just jump in. You just start playing the game and exploring the world and ask questions. Our community is unbelievably welcoming. They will go out of their way to help you and answer questions with new players. It's your path, it's your choice. And so do what makes you feel good and what interests you. If you're interested in getting in on the Gates of Oblivion storyline right away, we actually have a new prologue quest coming soon, and that's free for all players.
And then we've also got things, if you're dying to try Elder Scrolls Online, whether it's a free trial week that we do on different platforms throughout the year. So even if you're not entirely sure about Elder Scrolls Online, there's always an easy way to sample a little bit and see what all the fuss is about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, let's talk about the biggest part of this year-long adventure, which is that Blackwood chapter. What can players expect when Blackwood releases?
So this is our biggest content drop of the entire year. It's similar in size and scope to elsewhere, where it's all one zone. We don't split the content up like we did in Greymoor across multiple zones. It's roughly 30 hours of new content. There's new public dungeons, new delves, there's group bosses.
Collector's edition is 45 quid, normal edition is 32 pounds.
There's also a new 12-player trial for our veteran players.
And thanks to One Tamriel, all of that content is available to you regardless of whether you play by yourself, like I do, or you play with others, whether you're low level or high level, that you get just play wherever you want with whomever you want.
It's your choice. Do what makes you happy.
Anything else we can expect?
Actually, we have a brand new tutorial And we've built this special for this chapter. And one of the long requested features of our tutorials is to let players have their own choice in the story that they want to play in. So we did that this time.
£45.
There will be some basic tutorial
For the it's
things that will
£32
teach
for
you
the
how to swing your sword,
basic.
how to, equip abilities and move around. But then there's a moment in there where you get to choose your path, and you get to choose any of the stories from base game all the way through all of the chapters on where you want to go to next.
You know me, I'm always rolling new characters and starting again, and this seems like a really fun way to get in and start a new experience in Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
So Rich, let's say I'm somebody who is fortunate enough to get their hands on a Series S or a Series X or a PlayStation 5. What can you tell us about the next-gen version of Elder Scrolls Online?
Blackwood launches in June. PC, Mac, Stadia, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. And the next-gen clients that we talked about late last year, we're still working on those, so we'll have more details on those soon. But what I can say is ESO runs unbelievably well in compatibility mode on both the Series X and PS5.
Yes. You should be ready.
Okay, Rich, so we've talked about the story.
Yep.
We talked about some of the key characters. We talked a little bit about the location, but I want to explore more here. Tell us more about what players can expect, the sites, what they're going to see when they explore throughout the Gates of Oblivion adventure.
So like Greymoor, you're going to see both familiar and unfamiliar places. We're 800 years in the past. So the familiar locations are really on the western portion of the zone, that Topol Bay area, and that contains the city of Leowyn, which you got to explore a lot of in Oblivion.
By the way,
It's gonna
Dot,
feel
if you're in,
very,
watch the Twitch, get
familiar,
the Twitch chat up for
but
this
slightly different.
for
As
the
you
stream and
progress
type in
east
it,
throughout
because
the
then you
zone,
get
as
you get a
closer to
mount
Shadowfen,
if you
there's more
linked.
bogs, more swamps, and this is where it starts to be our kind of own thing. And we're going to take you to Gideon, which hasn't been seen since 1994 in Arena.
Now, we got to know the Khajiit in the Elsewhere chapter. Now we're heading to the home of the Argonians. So what can you tell us about what we should expect?
So this is not the first time that we've explored Argonian culture. We did some of that in the
Yeah.
Murkmire DLC. Blackwood, though, is going to feel very different. This is more of a melting pot, and Murkmire was extremely isolated. So there's this really cool contrast, of clashing cultures, Argonian meets Imperial.
That is two clashing cultures, if you were going to pick two. There's another area I think players are going to be really excited to explore, and that's, of course, the infamous Deadlands. What can you tell us about this unique area of Blackwood?
Deadlands
Yeah,
in
okay.
the
You
Blackwood
can just dip in and
chapter
out, I
is going to
suppose.
feel very familiar. It's that iconic fire and brimstone, jagged edge environment that you got to see and explore in Oblivion. You're going to get to explore instances or pockets of it as you progress throughout the main story. So kind of like Clockwork City, you're transported there, you go and you kind of do your thing. But really, the exploration of the Deadlands doesn't happen until the fourth quarter DLC, and then you're going to spend all your time there.
Yo, dude, look at that.
Now let's take a closer look at 3 biomes from Blackwood with art director CJ Greb.
When it comes to biomes in ESO, we always begin and end with the lore and the history established by previous Elder Scrolls games. We are happy to indulge our players' nostalgia and remind them of why they fell in love with these lands in the first place. With the year-long adventure being loosely based on TES 4, we embrace the opportunity to go back into TES history and explore a land that we haven't had a chance to visit in 15-ish years. TES 4 is, in my opinion, the epitome of classic fantasy, and we knew this had to be injected
Yeah,
into
okay,
the art
Scruffy, thank
going
you,
into
dude.
Blackwood and the Gates of Oblivion adventure. There are 3 big regions in
I will
Blackwood.
see
Each
you-
one's
I'll see you
distinct,
tomorrow, mate.
and we can't wait
Perhaps.
for players to start immersing themselves into it. First is the Niben Forest.
It won't be an
We're
essay. It
talking
won't be
rolling
essay stream tomorrow.
hills, lowland swamps. Players should recognize in those hills the
may well
distinctive
be-
landscapes
I
of
don't know what we're doing
Cyrodiil,
tomorrow night.
which
I
of
need to
course
sort my
lays directly
structure
to
out.
the north. This is
Work
the
at
region
5
where
a.m.
Leowyn
should be
is
home by
located.
7 p.m. Oof.
Our artists had a lot of fun
Dude, that's
going
painful,
back,
man.
adapting those classic Tudor styles in the buildings of the original Leowyn and bringing them into the ESO style. The distinctive colors, the stylings of the buildings, it's all there. Players will also find adventure in Blackwood Bog. This is where you'll find Gideon and Rockguard. This is a wet, open area. We were
Come on, give us
very
a sets,
excited to
give us
come
a
back
sets, give
and
us a
fully
sets.
realize this city, which Elder Scrolls players haven't seen since Arena. Gideon allowed us to explore the interesting cultural mashup of the Imperials and the Argonians as we get closer to Blackwood's shared borders with the Argonian lands in Blackmarsh. The surrounding bog is visually shaping up to be one of my favorite locations in Blackwood. Anyone who's ever been lucky enough to see a genuine castle ruins in Europe or the UK should recognize these areas instantly. They call back to a deeper history before time, which is always at the center of everything we're doing when we're creating an Elder Scrolls biome. And then we have something completely
David,
different.
hello, mate. Welcome indeed.
Players will get a kick out of Gloomire, home of the Rock Grove.
Just
In
watching
Rock
a little
Grove,
bit of
it was
Esso
a
reveal
lot
at
of
the
fun
moment.
to explore this tribe of
They've got a
Argonian
new,
Daedra worshippers.
the new
It resulted
DLC
in one of my
is
favorite new
out
motifs in the chapter.
Is it March?
The integration of distinctly Argonian decorative elements we're so used to seeing in their architecture and their armor had to be melded with
really
that
nice.
specific edged
I got involved in the hype,
shapes we know from Daedric armor,
and no
pulling
need,
them
but it's
together
alright,
was a
it'll get-
challenge, but ultimately, look, to my
I'm
eyes,
kind of
like
invested in
something
SO anyway, so
perfectly balanced in terms
it's a
of
good
both
game,
ideas.
but also for YouTube.
Last
as
but
well.
not least, we got to talk Deadlands, right? Creating a new Daedric architecture and motifs specifically for the
cool.
realm of Oblivion has been really amazing. This is one area where simply copying past Elder Scrolls games was not going to be sufficient for us. There's a lot of ground to cover with Daedra when it comes to the militaristic, stratified aspects of their culture. And although we don't get to see all of it in Blackwood, rest assured, we had to think about it for the future. Our take on the Deadlands is only the tip of the iceberg, or should that be volcano? Never mind. We'll give the players a small taste of it in Blackwood,
dear.
with more to come.
All right, Rich, it's time to talk Daedra.
David, do you
Now,
play
we talked
SO?
about it a little bit before, but there's a reason we're headed to Blackwood.
Yeah, well, sure.
and
See you later,
it's a
mate.
familiar name
Take
for
it easy,
Oblivion
dude.
fans,
Good luck with your
Maroon's
PC.
Dagon.
And
How big a deal is the Daedric
there's a
Prince
nice
in this
looking
year's
spec you've
adventure?
got there, buddy.
He's the anchor for the entire year.
MCs are
It's
nice,
all
and
about him
3070
and
is
his
nice as
latest
well. You'll
scheme
be
to
fine.
take over Tamriel.
And he's such a big deal, we actually have him here in the ZOS studio.
Oh, look how cool that
It's
is.
going to look amazing in my office.
That'll look amazing in anybody's office. Dagon has a ton of followers, and some of whom we saw in the trailer. Will players encounter a lot of worshippers while they're playing the game?
Yeah, for sure. The Daedric princes are not allowed to meddle in the world of Tamriel. They need help in order to mess around in the mortal
You
world.
haven't bought anything yet,
And that's
dude.
where
Well,
the cultists
anything you
come
do
into play.
decide
They
to
do the bidding for the
go,
princes,
just ping
and
it
you're
by
gonna
me on my
encounter
Discord.
a
I'm
lot
happy to
of
run
them
it
this year.
over. Check out the
There's a lot more to
the
Dagon.
stats
For more, let's go back
on
to
the
Lore Master Lehman.
on the the components. We'll let you connect your account. Yeah,
I
did you
don't
buy
make
it through
any secret
Steam?
of the fact that Marin's
Dot.
Dagon is one of my all-time favorite.
Oh, this is doing
Daedric
out
princes.
Twitch.
We know a lot about him, but it's all bound up in weird, subtext awesome books like Manker Cameron's commentaries. How reliable are those books? We don't really know, which is classic Elder Scrolls. Reading Dagon's book, Mysterium Xerxes, makes people write a lot of weird stuff. According to Cameron's commentaries, Dagon began as an avatar of hope. But what does
Yeah, no
hope
worries,
really
Moshi.
mean? Where does hope intersect with ambition? And where does ambition intersect with madness? A lot of people have asked me what's different about Dagon in the Second Era compared to the Dagon we encountered in Test 4. The truth is, princes are bound to their nature, but the plans evolve. In our time period, Dagon hasn't exactly figured out all the delicate science that let him pull off the Oblivion crisis. But he's learning.
That looks like an
That's
in-game.
never good. Will you learn more about him through the Blackwood and Gates of Oblivion story? Yes. Can I give you the specifics? Absolutely not. Spoilers, right? I will say that over the course of the year, you'll get a better sense of who Dagon is as a character. What's under all the bluster? What really matters to him? You get a chance to see all of that. Dagon has a lot of cultists
Yeah,
that
okay,
worship
David, no
him,
worries,
mostly
dude.
because
It's a
he's
very
so
specific
approachable.
theme. This is
I know,
obviously
not him specifically, but his worldview.
very much as
He's
a
absent
hype
that
at the
rebellious
moment.
streak we all have. I think all of us have a little anarchy tucked away inside us somewhere. Dagon personifies that. He's the god of flipping tables.
Bought it through
There's something
Steam, but I can't
cathartic about
connect it
that
for
whole
some
way
reason.
of looking at things. We love stability, but if you're ever walking down the beach,
But you got
and
a Steam
feel that
account, it should be
drive to
connected
kick over a
anyway.
sandcastle and just kind of see what the ocean makes of it, that's Dagon. Players will
Well, you
see
can't
and hear
connect
a lot
Steam
from the
with
Prince of
Twitch.
Destruction and Revolution in this year's content. It's going to be nuts. Hope you all are ready.
I think that was real gameplay, you know, they should
Before we wrap up, we've got one more thing that a lot of you have been asking about. And
Sets.
Rich,
Gear.
I wonder if you want to let them all in on what you've been working on.
I'm very excited to announce that we'll be introducing companions later this year. And companions are adventuring buddies. They're unlocked via Blackwood through quests, And they
This
provide
is so
utility and support
cool.
for players as you explore the world of Tamriel. Once unlocked, you can level them up. You can have dialogues with them. You can equip them with gear, set their combat behaviors and abilities. And they'll be your permanent companion from here on out if you choose.
That sounds awesome. Now what should I expect from a
That's so
companion,
good.
especially a guy like me who plays Elder Scrolls Online solo?
You're always going to have somebody there for you. If you need a little bit of extra healing or a little bit of extra damage or tanking,
That's
you
insane.
have somebody there in your pocket, so to speak. And you can use them pretty much everywhere, except for maybe PvP. But we'll go into a lot more of those and have a deep dive as we get closer to
That's mental.
chapter launch.
Dude, that is insane. That means you can spec yourself into a DPS without having to drop in.
And that's a wrap. Thanks to Rich, Lehman, and CJ for sharing so many exciting details about Gates of Oblivion.
We've got a
And
crown
a big
crate.
thank you
Nice.
to Matt Farrower, who invited us into his home away from home. But most of all, thanks to all of you for tuning in. Remember, Blackwood is available for pre-purchase right now. Head to ElderScrollsOnline.com for all the details. And now, I'll turn it over to Gina and Jess for a special ESO Live. Thanks, and take care.
That's so cool. This is such a good trailer. I can't believe they got companions. That is so cool. That is awesome. That is really, really cool. I'm actually really hyped for companions. Like that is. Oh, their website is messed up. Their website is crashed. Oh, dudes, can you? That is nuts. Like so many questions. Companions is what SO needs. Dude, yeah, especially for when you solo it by yourself. Like to have, like that changes everything. Like depending on how much you can boost, like you can make a pure DPS, whether it's like strong DPS or whether it's like strong healing or strong support. Like so many questions for that though. Like, and if you do, and it says PvP, they're not in PvP, but if you're in dungeons, that's turning dungeons into 8-player dungeons, right? I love this Imperial. I love her. She's just brutal. So cool. I love the way they just casually drop companions right at the very end. Like nothing about classes or gear sets or any of that. Like that's a game changer. That really is, that's hugely game changing. Like that. I mean, it's gonna be messy in whether they do it in trials or not. Pre-purchase. It was.
Hi, everybody.
Wow. Welcome, everybody. How much did you enjoy that reveal? It was awesome, right?
Amazing.
It was
Yes.
great. So we hope that you enjoyed everything that you saw, and we are so glad to see so many of you joining us today for our stream.
From all around the world. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this year, more than ever, Tamriel has been a home to so many, a family even, to everybody globally in ESO. We've seen people all around the world connecting, staying connected with each other, family, friends, even guildmates, and staying connected with each other during a time when being together has not always been possible, even us. And we love seeing that. So this is just one of the many things that makes you, the ESO fam, so special.
That was really sweet, Jess.
Yeah.
You are
It's been
You are
been a
one
good
with
year.
words. So we are really excited to be able to continue that journey with all of you this year with the Gates of Oblivion year-long
Performing
story.
maintenance. They are
So
not performing
everyone
maintenance. They are
just
getting
Park
completely
yourselves
smashed
right
in.
here. Get comfy. And we're
Your
going to
favorite snack and beverage?
grab a snack. You're going to be with us for a little bit, and let's take a look at what we have in store for today's show.
Great show lined up.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about.
We
Yeah,
have.
So first, we're just going to do a quick recap of the announcements from the reveal event that you just watched, and then get into a brief explanation of all the various chapters that SKUs is kind of an internal term. This was my mistake putting that there. All the different kind of variations of the chapters that you can purchase, and all the different things that you get for pre-purchasing the chapter.
We're also going to showcase a bunch of new ESO merchandise that's available now or coming soon. It's one of the most fun parts of a new year-long story, all the fun new stuff.
And then we are...
Gear. Come on.
Sorry, I lost my thing. It's so tiny on my screen, I can barely see it. We're going to be doing a brief discussion on the Gates of Oblivion, an upcoming chapter, and sort of what this means. What is the Gates of Oblivion? And then we'll be getting into a full preview of Update 29 and the Flames of Ambition DLC, which is the first DLC with lead...
Oh.
Boy, I didn't realize the mouse wheel would do that. Now we know. Don't hit the mouse wheel when we're in the middle of talking.
King Kong,
We're
welcome
gonna
in.
be
Hello.
joined by
I'm good,
lead
mate.
counter
Thank you,
designer
dude.
Mike
I'm good.
Finnegan
We just
and our
we're
lead
getting
combat and
hyped
PvP
for
designer,
the
We'll also
new
go over
Elder
some
Scrolls Online.
upcoming in-game events that you can enjoy in Q1.
I don't want to call it DLC,
and a
but it's a new
preview
chapter
of
that
the
spans
new
basically chapters that span
annual
throughout the entire
collectible,
year.
the thing that replaces
It's like
the
basically they
ticket.
bring out they bring out a
And
game
lots of
every year.
giveaways and Twitch drops, of course, throughout the show.
We've been doing a lot of giveaways, yeah.
We have so many. So
Yeah,
many.
and it's
First
just
and
being revealed
foremost,
tonight. It's really cool.
The dragon frog pet that we
Yeah,
know a
I
lot
got
of you
given
have
a
been
crown
asking
crate on
about.
Twitch,
We
but I
see in
can't
chat
access
a lot
it,
of you have been
frustratingly.
claiming the dragon frog. Looks like this. So just want to make sure that your Twitch and ESO accounts are linked. We know that we had website maintenance earlier. You can now get in and link your accounts.
Lies.
Also, we are making it rain Ouroboros crown crates for today's event.
Lies. I
So
can't
for
get
every 30 minutes that
Oh, I
you
can get
watch,
in.
every 30 cumulative minutes, you will get an Ouroboros crown crate. Now, aside from making sure that your accounts are
You can
linked,
get in.
you also need to make sure that you claim your drops. This is new in Twitch as of a few weeks ago. So you can either go to twitch.tv/drops to go straight to the drops page, or if you click your username at the top right, there's a little icon there. Go down to drops, and then it'll take you to that page. So just make sure that you claim within 24 hours, and claiming it means that you can then work towards progress for the next drop. So important stuff to keep in mind.
I can't
And
link.
there's
I can't link
more.
my Twitch.
And
Some
there's
of you may
more.
have seen that we're also giving away crown packs throughout the stream that included the main
I got
stream
so
that you just
close.
watched and
I got
this full
to
ESO
linked
Live
account. I
special.
got so close to
We're
linking it.
giving away 5 crown packs
No!
approximately every 5 minutes. All you have to do is just be logged into Twitch and participate in chat.
But you can claim them.
Look to
You've
see
said
if
that
you've
right. You
won
can claim them
by
after 24
checking
hours.
a forum post that we have stickied on the official ESO forums.
You just got to go
There's
on
actually
to
a link in
claim
the panels right
drops.
below the Twitch stream box.
Where is it?
And then click on to go to the official forum post and check it out. We will be updating that throughout the stream and awarding the crown packs after the show.
We've already had a number of crown winners, which is pretty exciting.
Awesome!
Yeah.
Free crowns, making it rain.
I got a
crowns.
crown pack.
And we also have a physical.
But I haven't linked my account, so I don't know if I got it or
giveaway
not.
Running, and we're going to take a look at some of those items now. So these are some of the brand new items that we'll be going into a little bit more detail during the show.
Come on, don't
that
break
are
on me
brand
now.
new for the Blackwood and Gates
Linked
of Oblivion
accounts. You
year-long
can do.
story.
But God damn, back soon.
Blackwood chapter. So there's the statue that you saw during the earlier stream. There's there's an ambitions puzzle, a dwarven constellation cube, a brand new T-shirt, a lithograph, and an ambitions token. So we'll take a closer look at those later. But we actually
There's
wanted to announce our
93,824
very
people watching
winner
this.
for this whole bundle
Why aren't those
with
people
everything
watching the
right now.
streams? There's only like 3,000 people at a time watching the streams
It
in the
is.
USA.
I am tall.
I am tall. Congratulations. So we will be in touch to get your contact information.
No
these
way!
items
They
will be
just
shipping
run
out
it.
in the June,
GG's.
July time frame.
Yeah, a little bit closer to
Huge.
summertime. Congratulations. I am tall. I do want to mention, we saw a few of you in chat saying that you can't access the website if you're either trying to pre-purchase or if you're trying to link your accounts. We are aware. We are working on it. So just hang tight, and I promise it will come back. And as far as the crown giveaways that Jess mentioned, I saw a few people asking, how do I know if I've won? We do have a forum thread on the forums, forums.elderscrollsonline.com. You don't need to log in. Just go there. There is a sticky post at the top. And you can also click on the Twitch panel that is below, down there. It should say crown pack giveaway. So if you click that, it'll take you to the forum thread so you can see if you've won.
Yep. And that will be updated
Crown pack giveaway,
approximately
let's
every
have a
5 minutes. We are doing this manually. Not us, but we have a very kind soul who's helping us. Thank you, Julie. And she'll be updating the forum thread roughly every 5 minutes with the winners. So next
Where is
up, we want to take a trip back in memory lane, back to last January. Feels
When
like
we
a
were in
very
Las
long
Vegas.
time ago. Feels like a
Which
very
one
long
do we
time ago
pick?
when we were announcing the Greymoor chapter. We announced that we would be doing a polar plunge with Pete and Rich and even us. And we
Lies!
didn't get a chance to go and do it like we wanted to due to COVID.
Yep, some
But-
things happened in the real world.
But yes, we knew you wouldn't let us off
Oh, well.
the hook. So Pete and Rich were kind enough to do it in their own homes. And we're going to
Hold
take
on.
a look at that now.
I want the theatre mode. That's the one.
what are we doing?
The ice.
What are we doing?
All
What
right,
do
Elder
we-
Scrolls Online community, you held up your end, so Rich and I are going to hold up ours and take the icy plunge. Here we go.
The effort campaign's gonna be awesome, dude.
I don't want to do this.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
It's a little bit cold.
All right, there you go. Hope it was worth it.
Aren't they good
I
sports? Oh, I
am
love that.
so glad we didn't have to do that. I mean, I was really kind of
Linked
a
account.
little nervous. So sorry, Rich and Pete, but thanks for entertaining us with that.
That was amazing. Thank you both. Such good sports.
All right, we are going to do a really
Twitch account has
quick
been
recap of
disconnected
everything
from.
that
No!
Pete, Rich, Matt, Lehman, CJ announced.
Oh
Gates
no,
of
I'm
Oblivion,
unlinking it.
Obviously, our year-long adventure this year.
Oh,
We can't wait for
shoot.
everybody to dive in. So first, we have Flames of Ambition. This is our first DLC for the Gates of Oblivion. It is the dungeon pack coming in Q1 of this year. It includes 2 4-player dungeons. So we have Black Drake Villa and the Cauldron.
I
And
think
we're
I've been
actually gonna be
linking it,
showing
then
you a
unlinking
preview of
it.
these dungeons a little bit later in the show. So you want to be sure
Okay,
to
I'm
stick
linked.
around if you want to see
I'm
those.
linked in.
We also have, of course, the new chapter Blackwood that you all are talking about. We loved seeing your enthusiasm in chat during the stream and on our social channels.
How do
So
I
this
how do I change how do I
includes the bustling port city of Leeuwin from Test 4. Haven't
how do I
been
get my
seen
drops?
since then. We have a shot here overlooking the city. Oh, and now we're looking at one on the inside of the city.
I think I've got drops.
And Gideon, a
You're
town
still
that
taking
hasn't
it
been
in?
seen since Arena, plus pockets of the Deadlands. The chapter is also about the same size as elsewhere, so you can expect lots of areas to explore, meet new characters, do quests, and team up with your friends to do group content. And of course, the big baddie that we saw in the teaser
The big baddie.
trailer and tonight, Mehrunes Dagon,
Daddy Dagon.
in all his glory.
Oh, look at. We're not. We're
Look
not
at-
going to
look at
start
those
thirsting
abs.
over Dagon here.
Look at the abs.
It's not going to happen. It's going to happen.
Thirsty women. Stop simping.
I'll wash some dirty clothes on those abs later.
I know what those two are
Moving
thinking
on.
about, not the abs, that's
The
for
companion
sure.
system. Now, this is something that I think Rich was able to announce during the reveal earlier. We're very excited about this. Think of these as
dear.
like your adventuring buddies as you go through Tamriel. You're going to be able to unlock these doing quests in Blackwood. You can level them up. You can assign
Well,
combat
I think
roles,
Dot we
skills,
had
equip new gear. They're there with you.
we had
when
the
you're
last
doing
one was
a
like
lot of this content.
werewolf and vampire themed.
What's also
There was
cool about
you know
them
that
is
was
you
the
can
the big thing,
unlock
right?
personal story quests for each companion as you kind
So
of
they
build
want to probably
rapport
want to step
with
away
them.
from it, which is why I'm
And
thinking
you
they don't
can
do much vampire
summon
stuff.
them at will. So let's say you're going along, you can put them away if you don't want them following you. I get it. It can be a little much when you have somebody constantly following you, right?
Don't put
And
them
then-
all on the outfit.
Yeah.
on the outfit station.
But oh my gosh. I am that person that leaves my bear out when I'm in town. I'm sorry.
I
I'm sorry.
know.
Yeah, that's just how she knows. But yeah, let's say you're kind of going along trying to do a world boss. There's nobody else around. You can pull out your companion and have them help you. So you can bring them in and out as you need them. So we're going to have 2 at launch with the chapter. There's going to be a male Imperial, which you can see in the screenshot here. And then there's also going to be a female Dunmer. So as Rich said, you can use these anywhere except solo arena and PvP. But we are kind of currently testing and balancing everything, so things may change as we continue on with our tests.
So we got two,
and of
yeah.
course, we're going to give all the details on these. And
2
how they
companions,
work in the future
male,
as we get a little bit closer to the chapter. But
Imperial,
you're as excited
and
about these as we are.
the Dunmer
It's gonna be a really cool
female.
addition to the game.
Yes. I can't tell you how many times I've done that exact same
And obviously they'll
story
bring out
in
more,
Japan.
right? Paid
I've been
for.
trying to kill
Gone
them.
to the
Content
world
really.
boss and
Yeah, like a base game world boss. Because like
You
the
do
newer
the,
DLC. Oh my gosh.
you do the John Travolta, like, can
Anybody?
anyone help me?
Please.
Yep.
These will definitely help with that.
The trial. Can't forget about Rock Grove Trial. So this is 12-player content coming in the chapter. Not going to be talking about this a whole lot today, but we will be showing it off again. as
That's
we
so
get a
cool.
little
Look at
bit
that.
closer to
Look at this dude.
chapter
I know I'm in the
release.
way a little bit.
And of course, as always, we do have a prologue quest for the chapter, and that will be coming very soon this spring for everyone. That is free. It's part of the base game. Everyone has access to it when it goes live.
That's
And
cool.
in addition, throughout the rest of the year, we
There
have
it is.
more DLCs. The Q3 and Q4 DLC. This graphic we have here kind of shows you the order of things throughout the year. The Q3 DLC will be a dungeon pack.
Flames
and
of
the Q4
Ambition.
DLC will be a story
Prologue, Quarter 2, Dungeon DLC, free prologue
Everyone's
quest,
excited to go there.
story DLC.
And just in case you missed it, even though we showed it twice,
Ooh, there he is again.
we did release a brand new awesome CG trailer for the chapter. You can watch it over and over and
Yeah,
over
the CG
again,
trailer
and
is
we
pretty
won't
sweet.
judge if it's just to see Mehrunes Dagon as much as you like
And
on
his
YouTube.
back. Sorry, we're doing it too. What else? New tutorial. I think this was mentioned during the reveal. So this is something that we've heard a lot of you talking about, how you want sort of a standardized tutorial instead of being thrown into a new one each and every time. So for any chapter or any base game, when you do the tutorial, it's going to be the same one for everybody. And once you get to the end, you can essentially choose which zone you want to start in after completing the tutorial. So we're excited
awesome.
to bring that to everybody. It looks really cool too.
Can you
I saw-
hear,
Yeah.
Somebody
hear them
showed
all
me,
right?
I think Rich
Turn
showed
them
me a
up a little bit.
screenshot, and it's essentially like little window of like, do you want to go here? Do you want to go here or here? So
Yeah, it's
It's
really
nice.
nice. It's like a portal that shows you a preview of all the different areas.
yeah. Lastly, Matt mentioned that we are going to be updating and replacing all of our game servers this year, which we're very excited about to be able to continue supporting ESO for years to come.
No way, that's
So
awesome.
the ESO mega servers, as you know, are running on
No way,
original
that's
hardware
awesome.
from 2014 when we launched the game. God, was it that long ago? Yikes. They are kind of nearing their end of life in terms of being able to support the game. So we are going to be updating all the data center hardware over the next year or so.
That's huge.
Just to ensure that we have a modern, up-to-date infrastructure and we're able to support the game for many more years. So just to be clear, this is not going to be more mega servers or new mega servers. So we're still going to have like PC, NA, and EU, and then same for Xbox and PS4. It's unlikely to have a direct impact on in-game performance, but it is going to ensure that outdated hardware failures don't occur. So this is really important for us to do, just to continue supporting the game.
Yes.
They're not saying it's going to get rid of the lag.
All right,
Interesting.
we
Let's
have
get into the game versions for the chapter.
We
Which
do-
version is right for you?
which
We're going to talk about
one?
it.
We do have a number of different versions that you can pre-purchase, similar to previous chapters.
Already
You wanna
purchased.
make sure that you're picking the right one based on
The
what you're looking
upgraded-
for and what you already own.
Collector's edition.
So for starters, and this graphic that we're showing here, we'll be sharing this on social a lot, so you can really kind of digest it and read it and see which one is right for you. But to talk through it for a little bit, we have the Blackwood upgrade, which is great if you already own Elder Scrolls Online, if you're an existing player. And this comes in the regular version, which is just the chapter. Or you can get the collector's edition, which includes all of these items. So you have the really cool cinch mount.
I need ray tracing. Do they have ray tracing in
memento,
this though?
outfit style, and weapon emote. That comes with the collector's edition. Now, let's say you're new to ESO. Maybe you're tuning into the stream for the first time. Welcome. You want to get into the Elder Scrolls Online. You would want to get... Boy. Which one do you want to get? This one.
This
so
one.
this is the... Boy, it's been a long week. You know, it really has.
100%
If you're a new
progress.
player, you want to get the
progress
Elder Scrolls
towards the
collection.
Elder- yeah,
now,
okay,
like the
that's good.
upgrade, this comes in a
There
regular
we go. I claimed.
and
Oh,
a
I can claim my
collector's
dragon.
edition. The regular version comes
Here,
with
here, here.
the base game and all the previous chapters, which is really cool.
Not that one.
The collector's edition
Don't look at
also
this.
comes with the previous items that we just showed. So if you're looking
This is
for
my under my
an
drops.
edition
Drops
that
claimed.
comes with Greymore, Elsewhere, Somerset,
Get a crown
and
crate. I
Morrowind,
need to
all the
do
previous
another 30
chapters, the
minutes.
collection has
So
all
it's
of those.
66%
And what's cool about this
of
is
30,
if you're
30
an
minutes.
existing player, if you already have ESO and you're looking for all the previous chapters,
And I've got the
as
dragon
well,
frog, and I've got
you
a
can also get
crown
this
crate.
version.
There we go. Get another
It's
crown
a
crate.
really good value. Even if you already have one of the chapters, it's an awesome value.
So you've
For
got to.
So we have pre-purchase
Talk.
incentives, like we
Yes.
always do every year. So if you pre-purchase the chapter, you get some goodies. You get some of them immediately, and you get some of them at launch. So the first, this is actually brand new. We have a limited time offer on a pet. It's called the Nightmare Bears Cub Pet.
Cub
Say
Pet.
that 5 times
Yep.
fast. This is available only until
Okay.
March 17th at 10 a.m. If you pre-order the chapter, you will get this little cutie in the game right now. We also have the Nagahide Welwa Ravager mount.
Ooh.
Yeah, he looks so cool.
Similar to
Love this guy.
previous, I know he's really cool. Similar to previous pre-purchase chapter mounts, you will also get this in the game immediately once you pre-purchase. Now, as mentioned, there are also some pre-purchase incentives that you get at launch.
So I'm going to log out and log back in
Those
again.
include the Tremora Kindreave outfit, the Deadlands Llama Soup,
Well, that's the.
the Iron Atronaut crate, brand new, and 3 Blackwood treasure maps and 2 XP scrolls. So those will be delivered at launch. And
get those
check
in
out
at
the Twitch
launch.
channel
Okay.
right below our stream for a link to the website to pre-purchase now, or you can just visit the official ESO site, elderscrollsonline.com, to pre-purchase.
I'm
And
sure
again,
it
you will
is
get those.
all over the website.
Yeah. And again, you will get that really cool looking mount and the bear cub pet right now. And everything else will be delivered at launch.
And that is in June. Saw people asking about ESO Plus. Now, similar to previous years, If you're an ESO Plus subscriber, then you get the 3 DLCs included in the membership. So you'll get Flames of Ambition and then the same DLC that is released in Q3 and Q4. The chapter you do need to pre-purchase or purchase after it's already been released in June.
Gets
Let's
released
talk
in
merch.
June then, right?
We have a lot
Yes.
of ESO merchandise. Just
There's
like,
so much fun
you know,
stuff.
what we're wearing. We're all decked out in merch here.
Money, money,
So
money.
we want to go through everything that just went up today. A lot of things just went live for you to either purchase or pre-purchase about an hour ago when the stream started. So just to kind of show everything off,
See, I think
we
I'd
have-
rather get
these beautiful t-shirts.
proper merch
I'm gonna have to
Blackwood
do one of these.
exclusives. Gotta, yeah, you gotta kinda do
Than-
a. There we are.
than actually
So these
get
are available on the Bethesda Gear Store.
in-game stuff. I mean, it's a mixture of both, right?
Nice
It's a
thick
mixture of both.
material.
It's nice to get stash,
It is
though.
nice. We even have this handsome fellow model.
Gets
in a
released in
little bit better
June.
than Jensen Ackles,
Crikey.
we're so-
That's a long pre-purchase then, isn't it? But it's the
Now,
pre-purchase
We
for
also announced
March
a
to get the gear,
really
right?
cool item today from our friends over at Noble Chairs. We're really excited to reveal on the stream our new Elder Scrolls Online Noble's chair. This is not available to purchase yet, but we did at least want to show it off. We were lucky enough to get kind of a first model here. So,
The Ravengers,
This-
I've got the
right?
Nightmare Bear.
I'll
Do you want to
even-
show
Got the kit.
I
I've got the
can-
gear in the
Yeah,
game.
he's got a little bit better lighting than me.
I'm
These
wireless
chairs
here.
are gorgeous. Like, this is honestly the nicest chair I've ever owned. It's got these really nice details on the back that are, so the gray is a fabric. I don't know how to
It is
describe it.
kinda
It's like a
fabric-y,
wool
yeah.
felt or a wool.
Yep.
And then it's got embroidery on the
goes
back
here.
there with metallic gold thread. I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see me.
Down.
Yeah, all the threading is this really nice gold thread embroidery,
it.
including on the back there, the Ouroboros. The gold accents are kind of metallic color. It's really, really nice. It's a
nice.
very pretty chair.
Look at this.
Need my
And I gotta
heated
tell
blanket
you,
back.
like, yeah, I gotta tell you, the back support is incredible.
Look, 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 look.
I'm
It
not
is nice.
slouching quite as much anymore.
Yeah,
My
and
little-
it's got,
my
you
little
know,
pet.
the adjustable backrest, so if you want it to go a little bit further back, you can. If you like it really straight,
the
Jess
Nightmare
has
Bear
really good
cup.
posture, so she likes her chair straight. I like to slouch a little more.
Yeah, I
I
like
got
it
the
too.
Nightmare Bear cup. How cool!
Also, I found this chair really easy to put together. I've had to really wrestle with computer chairs in the past, especially putting together like the top and the bottom seat parts, the cushions, and
Yep.
this was
Where is it?
super easy to
Look
put
at that.
together. So,
The
really nice chair.
Noble Chairs is actually running a giveaway right now. You can try
That
it.
is badass.
Yes,
Let's
Jess,
go.
It is comfy. That is literally what I was talking about earlier during the pre-show when
yeah,
boy, everyone could hear
settling
our
down
sound
and
checks.
getting comfy.
Yep, planting myself right here and getting comfy in this chair. It was this one. So yeah, if you head to, is it the Noble Chairs Twitter account?
That is so
where they're
good.
Doing their giveaway.
Yeah, I think they have a website that you can enter, but you can go to their Twitter account and find that post.
And
I
if
think
you
That
want
is
to-
such a cool mount. Oh, that's
Yeah, you're
badass.
right, I saw it. If you want to be notified when you can pre-order these chairs, if you just go to noblechairs.com/ESO, they have a forum there, and you'll be notified as soon as these are available for pre-order. So we were lucky enough to get a couple for the stream today. and
Thank
we
you,
hope
Noble
that,
Chairs.
Thank you so much. They're so nice.
Look at
They
this
do
face.
ship internationally. I see some people
Yes,
asking. So this is not
they
just a
do.
North America thing. I think they're actually based in Europe. So
They are. They are. Yeah.
it'll work out. Next, we have that statue.
I'm
that
getting
comes in a
Stapulous
really cool
throwing stuff at
bundle.
me.
So I actually have a statue here that we can show. So this is the Mayrin's Dagon. I'm gonna try not to drop it. Boy, wouldn't that be awkward?
It's heavy. It's
It
a
is very
very,
heavy.
it's got a really good heft to it.
So here he is. So you can kind of see, you know, the general size of the statue, and it is extremely heavy. It has some weight to it. So there we go. I'll try. And
Come on, you thirsty women.
He looks so
Not making-
angry.
I mean,
The
wouldn't you be
expression's
angry?
really good.
The prince
Wouldn't
of
you be if
destruction. So, yeah.
you know, everyone was coming to attack you, and the back is just as detailed, which is really nice. And you can see here all of the items that come in this bundle. So not only do you get the statue, you also get an ambitions token, it's showing the front and the back there, and a Mehrunes Dagon lithograph that you can hang in your bedroom.
Yep. So whenever you pre-purchase the statue, you get all of that together.
And that's
Pretty awesome
not
bundle.
all. So we also
not
have,
all.
we've been calling them ambitions artifacts. I'm going to try and pick these up without ruining the puzzle because they do
It is a
form-
puzzle.
It is a puzzle. So the puzzle is together, and I'm not going to put it
Oh, that's cool.
apart yet because it took forever to do this.
You finally got it.
It is truly a puzzle. So this is kind of what they look like in puzzle form. But all of these pieces kind of come apart. And in this screenshot, you can kind of see the middle part is what it looks like when they're together.
It's
and
hardly-
then the
it's
four
hardly a,
individual pieces are surrounding that.
A puzzle that's going to be, you know.
And they are
these
metal.
Yep. And these are
As you can-
related to the chapter, and you will find out how when you play it.
Another
So, yeah,
antiquities
like,
line.
I'm not going to show you how to do it, but like here's a piece, and you can see on the back they have what looks like
Little
know,
places for
the
other
little pieces
to
where
go.
they go in.
Nice.
So no spoilers for how to solve the puzzle, but it was pretty tricky. It wasn't just a quick like, oh, just put them together and you're done. So good for I don't know, that neighbor that drops by, and they're like, oh, what's this? And you're like, oh, go ahead and do it. See what it is.
It's easy. Try it out. It's not easy.
Next, we have a dwarven constellation cube. Now, this is also a prototype, but we have one here to show off. So this is about the size of it. Again, has good weight to it. You can kind of see the detail if my camera
so
decides to
cute.
focus. Boop. And what's cool about this, underneath, it lights up. You're not going to be able to see it super well since I have this light on, but there is a light
got
that you
blue.
can turn on and off. Yep.
I take a picture of my awesome
And there's different constellations on each side, which is also pretty cool.
melt. That's pretty cool.
Straight from your favorite dwarven ruins.
We also have. Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Jess.
Go ahead.
I was
We
going to
also
say the
have a
same thing
cup-
you do.
There's
We also have
so
a
many
couple
people going to
really
be
beautiful pieces of
riding these
art,
new mounts.
including the Blackwood lithograph. This is a brand new piece of art for the Blackwood chapter. You may have seen it in some of our other promotional pieces for this announcement. And this will be available for pre-purchase on the Bethesda
That's
store.
nice.
We also have a brand new art collection coming out in collaboration with Cook and Becker. There are different sizes that you can order. These are limited quantities, and you can choose to get them either framed, like you see here, or unframed.
It features a
So-
lot of the different art from ESO over the years, a lot of the DLC art. I think there's one from when we were, I want to say around launch time. So, yeah, if you're a fan of, I know Lucas did a lot of these art
Yes.
pieces. He was on ESO Live, I don't know, back when we were still in the office.
Welcome indeed.
It's been a little while.
These are really beautiful.
Hey, Joanna,
pieces,
hello.
and
So
they
I
do
haven't got
ship
chat up. I'm
internationally as well.
doing a quick edit
I
on
believe.
this.
And last but not least, we have a prize pack, actually a few prize packs. From
So disappointed with the
Alienware. Alienware was
pre-purchase pet
gracious
limit
enough to give us
time
some
since I
items
cannot
to
get
give
money
away
after
in prize
March.
packs. Here are some
Oh,
of them
really,
you
dude?
see
That
here.
sucks, man.
And you can go to the official ESO Twitter account.
Can you not buy the stuff with in-game?
And enter for
in-game
this
money?
giveaway. This is also an international giveaway.
It's like
Not
it's
wanting
like Oprah
to,
right now. We're just giving away so much stuff
All
today.
show
in
off
celebration. There is a
much
lot
better.
of stuff. But there's
So
one more
thank you,
thing.
Alienware.
How cool does it
Oh,
look?
you know what? Actually, I think Finn. We'll look later. But I think once we get Finn
just so
on,
cool.
he actually has all the Alienware goodies behind him, and I
Yep.
think they set them up really nicely. So
Yeah.
we'll take a look. So thank you, Alienware, so much for allowing us to do these amazing prize
Yeah.
pack giveaways.
And lastly, the gear store for North
Hardly
America
Elder
and
Scrolls.
Europe is running a
But yeah.
sale right now, 20% off all ESO in-stock merchandise, which is pretty exciting. So this is automatically applied to in-stock items. You don't need to use a code or anything. It's super simple. Running
Wow, they're really
until
clearing their stocks out.
January 27th at midnight Eastern time. So if you need links, again, check out the buttons.
Why
at
they
the
make it
bottom of our
limited?
stream.
I
They should be
guess
all right
it's a
there.
budgeting thing that
Don't
they
need to
try and
switch.
bring a load of money in
Don't
before
worry,
a certain
everything is
period to
running
kind
until
of
the
like
27th. So You can get 20% off any in-stock item.
like stagger their payments over the
Now,
year, because if they left
since
it
we
all to the
can-
last minute, then they wouldn't get any money for
we
the
have
update.
another giveaway winner that we want to show off.
Do you see what I
Yes.
mean? They wait if they wait till June, then they're missing out on basically a chunk of money between now and June. If they can stagger that, then it's better for the company
We have
to have cash flow.
Zoo.
That's the reason for it.
Congratulations.
On winning a whole bunch of the stuff that we just talked about. You get your own.
Tell us how long it takes you to complete the puzzle.
Jeez.
All right, we're going to move on, talking a little bit about.
You're
the
not by
Oblivion,
gates.
and
Oh,
we
really?
do want to
You're done with
bring
essay? What? Because you
our
can't get
leading
2
cover
mounts, bro.
designer,
Seriously, dude.
Mike Finnegan on to join us for a little bit. If he's here. If not, it's cool. Here,
Hi,
there
Finn.
he is.
Hello.
Glad you didn't
Good
leave.
to see
Mike,
ya.
you need to
speaking of the
move your
alien
mic away
stuff,
from your
Hey,
nose,
yeah.
dude.
Behind me, look at that.
So it's
You want to collect
ready to
all,
be shipped out
bro.
to
Well,
the
go out and
winner.
get some money.
There we go.
Are you gonna-
We have,
You got
Oh,
2 months to go out
hi,
and get some money.
Wayne. It's Vanna Wayne. Vanna
Vanna
Wayne.
Wayne. That's right.
Aw, I miss everybody.
I know.
Surely you
I know.
can
I
conjure
am
up
at the office.
£45
I know.
to get
I
in the
know.
next
Finn
Yeah,
is
so
distancing at the office.
2 months.
Finn was kind enough to trek to the office for this stream and for you all.
We just wanted to make
So-
sure he was using a headset that, was better than
Right.
the one at home.
That doesn't sound like a prank phone call, right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Doesn't
gosh.
sound like a
Okay,
Scream
so
movie.
Gates of Oblivion. So
Yes.
the Gates of Oblivion is our year-long story this year.
Yeah.
If you're new with us, we've been doing a year-long story for the last few years now. I actually can't remember when we started.
2 years ago, I think. I
Yeah.
think it started with Elsewhere. I think it
Yeah.
started with Elsewhere and then carried next year.
I think
yeah.
you're right.
Jinx.
So what this is that there's a story that
Your pay isn't
starts
coming
in
after March
the
to
first quarter of the
bring it
year
forward.
and
Right.
continues on.
He needs to
throughout
stop
the year with the
he
bulk
needs
of
to
the
stop
story
putting his
being in
mic up his
chapters,
effing nose. I
Blackwood.
know, dude.
Right.
And that does also include our Gates of Oblivion hashtag, which we will be using on all of our
Are they
social
all using the
channels
same
throughout the year.
headsets?
So
Same
Gates
one
of
as Jess,
Oblivion
is
takes
it?
place in the Blackwood chapter about 800 years before the Oblivion Crisis.
Right.
This is our own Mehrunes Dagon story, and it touches on one of his many attempts to conquer Tamriel.
Indeed.
Now, he hasn't quite figured out the science behind the gates you saw in Test 4, right, Mike?
Right. The you will see what I think Rich alluded to it in the video, the portals, and these are, it's like the alpha or the beta of a game. Like, he hasn't got it figured out yet. He's kind of throwing it
There's
out there. It's
bugs.
not really feature complete yet. There's a little bit of bugs. It's not working quite right yet.
Hazer,
So
surely,
you guys get to be
surely
beta
you have been
tester
down this
Mehrunes
route already with
Dagon's
Bethesda and
destruction
mounts.
of Tamriel. Grats.
Nice.
Like, if you've been
Yeah.
playing the game since launch to collect all the mounts,
Wonderful.
you will know that
So
you
just a
won't be
reminder-
able to get
Go ahead,
this
Jess.
Oh, go ahead.
mount unless you,
You first.
I was just going to continue on
purchase
talking
this
about the
early,
portals.
right?
What did you have to
Right.
say?
Nothing. Nothing important. I was just going to talk about getting comfy.
We'll do it live.
Hey, that's on the bingo card.
It is on the bingo
Somebody was
card.
going to do it. I knew somebody
I hope,
was going to say
I hope
it.
that gave somebody their bingo.
There you go. There you go.
So, Mike, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Oblivion portals?
Sure. They pop up in the region of Blackwood randomly, seemingly randomly. You're not going to know where they're going to pop up, and they pop up, and when you enter them, you go to actually a little pocket of the Deadlands, and you do whatever it is you need to do in there. I'm not going to spoil it, so you guys can figure out what it is.
So
That's
a little
pretty cool.
Deadlands adventure.
Yeah, a little Deadlands mini adventure. The idea behind them is they're going to feel a little bit like a public dungeon, but they're spontaneous, kind of how they pop up, and there's a lot of wrinkles that we throw into it. And the reward structure is kind of like what you would expect from Dark Anchors or Harrow Storms or something like that. Those are kind of the rewards that you're going to get out of these things. But you got to kind of seek them out and find them.
And now I know why they put his mic so
close.
close to his mouth. You can hardly hear him.
Cool. And
Yeah.
just a reminder, the Blackwood chapter will be out for PC, Mac, Stadia, Steam on June 1st, and
Absolutely.
Xbox and PlayStation on June 8th. Doesn't feel that long
It
Doesn't feel that
does
far
not.
Coming
away.
up. It is not
Does
that
not.
far away. You know what else isn't
I
that
mean,
far away?
Just yesterday was February, right? Like February 2020, I
feels
think,
like it.
right? It was
Gina's
crazy.
trying to do a really nice segue.
I was trying. You totally ruined it.
Sorry,
It's fine.
Totally sorry.
No, it's
Sorry.
cool. It's great.
Let's go back in time. What were you saying, Gina?
Got another crown crate. Let's go,
I don't
dudes.
remember.
You know what else
Oh
is
my
coming up soon?
You know what else is coming up soon? Is update 29 is even sooner.
Oh, yes, it is.
That is soon.
What-
So,
What's it called?
Flames of Ambition. I almost said the wrong
It
name.
is. Yeah, that's good.
Had
You
to
almost called
stop
it
for a
Flames
second.
of Oblivion, didn't you? You almost called it Flames of Oblivion.
I
didn't you?
always say it. I always do that. But not today. Darn
Not
it.
today.
Not today. All
Then
right,
we'd
so
have Boo and Goo.
let. Oh, you went there. You went there. Goo is the latest year-long adventure.
Yep.
Anyway,
It sure is.
let's talk update 29. So, anyone who's familiar with our
Okay, this is
PTS
going to be good.
cadence knows
Dot,
that
you need to pay
PTS is
attention.
coming up soon, especially since we've announced all this stuff today. You know it's coming, right? When
It's
do you
sooner
think it's
than you
coming?
think.
When do you think? Probably on Monday, because that's when we do our maintenances, right?
Right? That's usually
Right.
it.
No,
That's what
no,
you would
we're
think.
we're gonna go nuts and actually do it tomorrow morning.
What?
You do not have to
Yep.
wait long because update 29 is coming tomorrow to PTS. So
That's crazy.
I know it is. I know. Trust me. I know.
My mind
Banana
is blown.
pants.
Right?
Banana pants.
Crazy.
Update
So
29.
maintenance for that is going
Are
to be
you saying-
starting.
Are you saying FOA is coming tomorrow?
FOA is
Yeah.
tomorrow on Wednesday.
Okay.
So maintenance is going to be starting at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I know a lot of you know that usually for our first PTS maintenance, it takes a little bit longer. We have to do a full character copy for NA characters. And don't forget, that is going to include a full skill point reset based on the forum post that we posted. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, kind of explaining why we need to do a skill point reset. So be on the lookout. We'll be publishing patch notes, God willing, in the morning if I can get my act together and get them all done.
A lot of notes. A lot
We'll
of
do it.
notes.
A lot of notes.
We'll do it. We'll make it
So-
A
happen.
lot of notes.
We want to give you kind of a first look at these dungeons that are going to be coming to PTS tomorrow for update 29. And that's why Finn is here, to show us
That is
more.
why I'm here.
I mean, we also enjoy our company, but we
Always.
need, we need
So
you to
what's this
guide us through
new-
these dungeons.
But we don't need my company in front of all of these.
New Did you say new dungeons?
It makes everything better, Mike.
Well, that's adorable.
That's very kind of
Stop
you.
breathing down your microphone.
Wow.
So we're not
Update
we're not
to the
gonna show any
PTS, the
spoilers. We're not
test
gonna
server
show
tomorrow.
You how to beat the bosses.
Testing it for
We're not gonna
the
spoil
29th, I
story.
believe.
This is just kind of a sneak peek on what these two dungeons look like. Kind of the first step into the Gates of Oblivion
Yep.
story.
And I am on an internal server, and I am going to be using developer commands to kind of skip past some of these things, just so that you know.
We can give
So
you a
don't
little
think
tour.
that don't think that this is like a special ability you're going to get next.
Part of the update? No.
Yeah, it's not
No,
when
it's not.
FOA goes live. You're not gonna get these special abilities.
All right.
All right.
So I guess before you
Where are we
start
gonna-
off, how do these?
Mike is
dungeons
like one of
tie
those
into the
irritating
larger
like
Gates
guildmates
of Oblivion
or
story?
players that you have that are basically eating the
So,
microphone.
much like we did with Terrastorm and Rastone, you're going to learn things in both of these dungeons, which are going to, when you put them together in the prologue, it gives you context for what's happening in the prologue. You actually, and as I go into the dungeons, I'll show you the people that you're going to meet. I do want to touch on where these are in the world.
Oh, yeah.
The first dungeon is in Deshawn. If you notice this, it's on the western part of Deshawn. And the dungeon is called the Cauldron.
Okay.
And the next dungeon is in Gold Coast. That was it. My bad. Gold Coast, and it's right up here, and that one's called Black Drake. Cave.
Deshawn and Gold
We'll go
Coast.
to that one
isn't
in a
it?
second.
So you
but
can
first-
just walk up to these.
Yes.
Or you can use the dungeon finder.
If you don't have a ESO Plus and you don't have the Dark Brotherhood DLC, you would only be able to enter them by clicking on. You would only be able to enter this dungeon by clicking on the icon or using the dungeon finder. But if you do have ESO Plus or
I don't know what he's doing with his
Yes,
microphone. I mean, there's not a good advert for the Alienware headset,
Deshawn
really,
is
is it?
the base game.
He's probably turned the microphone down or something.
Sweet.
So
Which one are you going to show first? The cauldron?
We're jumping into the cauldron first.
Because you're here.
This is,
you're right here.
Yeah, because I'm here. I happen to be here. This is where we get to meet. If you saw in the trailer, you saw the Dremora. That Dremora was Lyrinth. We talked a little bit about it in the reveal trailer. She is a fan favorite. She was in the base game. She was in Imperial City. She actually was I believe she was the quest giver in White Gold Tower. So you saw her at this point. And she shows up here and guides you kind of on this path to help this weakling out. So, basic story behind the cauldron is this group of dark elves and this guy. The villages have been raided by followers of Mehrunes Dagon, and he doesn't know why, but he's here to get his family back. Now, Lyrinth has made a bargain with him. She needs something. She wants a very particular item out of this location, but she cannot access it herself.
That's very on brand for her.
Yes, yes. So she needs
she's my favorite.
a mortal, right? She needs a mortal to do that. So she has agreed to help.
I know. I'm listening. I'm trying to listen. So
of a dark elf.
Carefully to it.
Don't worry. I see chat's like, I thought you said no spoilers. This is just literally the beginning.
This is literally the beginning. She just wants a particular item, and she's agreed to help him, and that's as far as we're going to go. So you get to figure out what it is she wants and how that plays into the story later on. You're going to find, and again, I am...
You're cheating?
These monsters... Yes, I'm cheating. These are special followers of Mehrunes Dagon. They are members of a cult called the Waking Flame. And you're also going to see some regular, Daedric creatures, and
naturally,
you have this really cool new Watcher up here, which is like a Mehrunes Dagon Watcher.
This is so cool. Look at this.
Chat, I see you. I see you asking what he's wearing, and we are going to show you.
We will talk
when we
about
get into
that.
some better
Yes,
lighting.
As typical, I am wearing stuff
We
from
got you.
the new dungeons. We need dungeons, so
New DLC
I will
game.
go over that exactly.
They noticed.
Yep. So we're going to. This dungeon is a classic, more classic dungeon experience.
Got a spell 5,000. Everyone dies.
Then some of our newer things. So some of our other newer dungeons have had like 3 bosses, 3 hard mode. This one has 5 bosses with a hard mode, activatable hard mode at the end. So it's a much more classic experience. The other dungeon, Black Drake Villa, actually is 3 bosses, 3 hard modes. So I'll give you an idea of some of the visuals in here. This is what these guys, what the followers of Mehrunes Dagon are doing is part of the mystery of this place. You don't exactly know what's going on. You don't know what they're doing. So you have to kind of figure it out as you're going through here.
And we're not going to tell you.
No, we are not.
Not today.
AoE Death Touch. Die.
It's funny because we give kind of an idea for the story for dungeons a lot of times, and we go to our world builders and our stuff. And our world builder Mars, who's a world builder for the dungeon team, and he like consistently just knocks it out of the park with what he delivers. Like we didn't say,
That looks awesome.
oh, we want this like puppeteering kind of thing with cages. We didn't ask for that at all. He just kind of put it together and was like, this looks cool, and we're like, yeah, it does. So yeah, he really knocked it out of the park in this dungeon as well. And you go through different parts of this dungeon to kind of see. So initially, this kind of looks like a Dwemer cave, right? This is Deshaun. This is stuff you've seen before. This doesn't look all that different. And but eventually, you kind of transition into other parts. I'll try to do this without spoilers.
I mean, you have to, because we already told people that there would be no spoilers, so no pressure.
Yeah, I meant story-wise, how deep it gets into the story. This is the next boss is a taskmaster, and after I'll probably end it after this one. We can take a look at here, and then as you transition to the next part, you get a little bit more idea of what the story is. Lyrinth had journeyed ahead to find out what's going on, and she's probably going to talk about the story. Let's go ahead.
Run away.
So you get to venture forward, and you have to travel this lava-like path.
They love their lavas in Oblivion.
There's some cool stuff. Mehrunes Dagon followers, they are attracted to lava. They're like they're like Darth Vader. So, I mean, he's physically. Never mind. Anyways, so
moving
people,
on.
yeah, people that are looking at kind of what I'm wearing and stuff, the
She's
skin
thinking.
that I have on here is the
This-
unlockable
this
skin. For
Copyright
completing this
Disney
dungeon on veteran.
mixing
So if
genres.
you complete
God
this
knows
dungeon
what's
veteran,
going
you
on.
get this skin that you can apply to all of your characters. The armor is the armor that drops in this dungeon, and that helmet, which looks so cool, is actually the monster, the Undaunted helmet and shoulder that you get from this dungeon.
The monster set.
That is
I
awesome.
guess he
you
has
do
like
this
a good
on-
one.
he has little cutouts for his eyes.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't need eyes. Where
It's
we're
just
going,
that
Overrated.
awesome.
we don't
Overrated.
need eyes. I guess.
He has magic eyes.
Yeah, he's it's a really unique boss that uses sonar, so it's just this loud screech into your ears the entire time. Yeah, we went above and beyond. Did
So
something
you
different this
so
time.
you do the VO for it, huh?
Yeah, right. I do.
Ah.
Oh, what are you trying to say? Oh, look at that.
Stay with us
Get those digs
so
in.
you can show the next dungeon.
Yes, yes. So that's all I'm going to show you as far as the bosses are concerned here. But if I say you go through this lava cave and you end up in another place, and it reveals kind of the story of what's going on here and how exactly you can stop it. And then at the very end, it reveals what Lyrinth was doing here and how Drathus was the quest NPC that you saw.
He's so quiet.
How he
Like-
plays into it.
He's literally
And
so
this
quiet.
story kind of ties into the story.
can't get
of the
over.
next dungeon we're going to take a look
Absolutely.
at too, right?
Yes, they both. But these are like two halves of the same coin, kind of like the
You
rest.
can do 'em in any order.
Halves. Yep, you can do them in any order. And when you do the prologue, if you have done the dungeons, these NPCs, Lyrinth and the NPC in Blackwood Villa, may show up.
Cool.
Is his microphone getting worse and
I gotta
worse?
tell you, Lyrinth is my favorite. I love how sassy she is.
Lyrinth is a very unique character in that,
Yes.
and it's one of those things that when we bring her in, she has a very specific personality. So you can't just say she can't be doing things because they're good, right? We have a lot of characters that are goody two shoes that are like, yeah, I just want to do this because it's the right
He's
thing."
getting so
Lyrinth
much
is
shit
not
in the
that.
chat.
Lyrinth is like,
Yeah.
I have a motive, and I don't care if Tamriel burns. I just want my piece of the pie.
She's like, is it useful to me? Are you useful to me?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And she makes no qualms about it.
Right, exactly.
Chat is
Quality Alienware headset.
Really?
Chat is like, how did Mike manage to break another headset?
What?
Am I breathing?
Just because your audio is going in and out a tiny bit.
A tiny bit.
Oh,
Let's.
now you
Alright,
will
anyways.
prepare
Not
chat.
supposed to eat it.
Sorry. All
All right, so where are we headed next?
We are now in Black Drake Villa. So this
Is that an Oblivion
in,
portal?
Uh,
There was an
in the
Oblivion
section
portal right there.
of, the Gold Coast, just south of Cyrodiil. And this.
Oh, no,
is
it's not.
Black
It's
Drake
a- it's
Villa.
a- it's a
Those
torch
lore
on the,
hounds out
there.
They may recognize the name of the Black Drake. He
Looks like a
was
portal.
the first of the Longhouse Emperors, Black Drake Durbarok, I believe. He's the one who gathered the Reachmen and marched across the land and sacked Cyrodiil and became the first of the Longhouse Emperors. Well, when he did that, he set up a little summer home called Black
course he
Drake
did.
Villa.
That's nice.
And as the Longhouse Emperors kind of remained in control, this became their their summer home. Their southern house that they would, and it was passed down from the Black Drake and so on down to Leovic. And for those people that have played the Imperial City, they may recognize Leovic as the dead guy in the chair in the sewers. But we are here for a very specific purpose, and our good friend Evely Sharparrow is here.
Hey.
Yay.
Real quick, I saw somebody asking
She
if
girls.
they don't have access to gold.
Never
Plus,
just
if
give
they
this
can
guy a
still
headset
access
again.
this
Just give him
dungeon.
a proper microphone. But it's because they're,
You can
you know,
either
sponsored by
click
Alienware or whatever.
on
They're going to have to
the,
do that.
Icon for the dungeon from the world map, or you can use the dungeon finder. As long as you have the this DLC unlocked, you can use the dungeon finder and it'll put you in. So
Yep.
absolutely.
So yeah,
And
in
if you
order to
have
access,
Go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say, in order to access the specific dungeons and DLCs, you just need to own that DLC or have access to it through ESO Plus, rather than access to the zone that it's in, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You
Absolutely.
just wouldn't be able to walk up to it, but there's
Right,
other
right.
ways.
Yep, absolutely. So this is Evely, and she is going to be your friend here. So I'm not going to talk to her and spoil kind of the story. I'll give you the basis for the story. Is a secret benefactor has told her to come here to recover.
Well, I think Jess has got one. I'm not sure Gina's
so
got the same mic,
what,
actually.
The Longhouse Emperors were tyrants and bad people in general.
But yeah, it's not going to be good PR
But when
for
they built the
Alienware,
Blackwood
right?
Villa, not only did they have the villa, but they had a secret library that they stored. It was a repository for information and things that they had stored over time. So
Ooh, secret books.
yeah, secret libraries are super secret. But when you start in here and you come to the villa, this has been in disrepair. The Longhouse Emperors have been dead for however long. So the local wildlife has moved in. There's a tribe of goblins that are here. There are minotaurs from Gold Coast that have moved in and kind of like are ruling the goblins. So you've got some special salamanders
so cool.
here.
Oh, get them out.
There's a lot of
Right?
fire.
You are the eviction crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fire. I'm not going to enjoy this big vampire.
Basically the way this one works. There are some specific clues as to what's going on that we try to tell you. If you notice these little vents right here, you see smoke kind of coming out of these vents.
Oh,
So
no.
the library happens to be underneath this place. What is going on?
What's that mean? Huh?
What is that? Alright, so I gotta kill these guys.
With your magical,
Yeah, with my
internal
magical
only
abilities.
developer
Commands.
commands. Yep.
And I'll show you the first boss.
Excuse me.
This is a new super big Minotaur. This is Kinra's Iron
And look how cool this guy looks.
And he doesn't like people being here either. He kind of rules the group of goblins and Minotaurs that are outside of here. And he's just
Yeah,
kinda
everyone
taking
thinks the
away.
microphone sucks now. I was thinking I should link
You got
my
Emily up there.
my
She's gonna lend
YouTube
her-
guide on how
lend
to
help
make
during the fight.
microphones that suck good.
Fire some arrows down on this bad boy. But we're not going to show that fight. We're just going to keep going.
Yeah, I have a feeling he won't just step aside and be like, "Oh, go ahead."
He will not. He'll be like, oh,
Keep
yeah,
going.
Go ahead, go right through.
Want a tour?
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of like cool things in here that to explore. You can see, you know,
Thank you, Doc.
some of the people that maybe still were here that they've been left for dead. We tried to really build this up and sell it as, you know, this was a Roman villa that was lived in and stuff like that. So even before you go through the sewer grate to get into the dungeon, you can run along the vineyards and stuff like that and see kind of how it was kept up. So, but we are going to take this door is blocked. It's locked. So we can't get in there, so we're going to take this entrance, this walkway, and we are going to go underneath. And this is where you start to see what's happened kind of to the library.
You ever notice that
material
people
statue.
love leaving their cellars unlocked in games?
You know, I try not to judge people for that. Like maybe they, you know, just they're scared of tornadoes, I guess, in the Gold Coast. I don't know.
Thank goodness they do, so we can ransack
Yeah.
everything in there, right?
So you can see here that this is the library, and it is on
Oh
fire.
no!
Oh, the
So you can
library's
see
on
the
fire.
Oh,
vents
the
and the
books.
roof. This
That's
is where
cool.
the smoke was coming from through the vents. All the books are being burned.
That sucks.
And these guys, the True Sworn, are some pretty cool, like, arsonist style.
Whoa. I like the,
Imperials,
like-
it looks like, yeah.
I like the lattice work on his mask. That's really cool.
Yeah, these guys are super cool. And they have these little flame hounds that they've summoned, if you see them.
Oh, wow.
And this guy's like burning this whole thing.
Yeah, he's just standing there. He's like,
Yeah, he is. He's just
burn
like,
this whole
he doesn't
bookcase.
have to do much. They just said, stand there and look pretty, and he's like, cool, I can do that. I had to kill those guys because the door's locked. Otherwise, Evely's going to come in and say, oh my gosh, they're burning the entire library.
"Oh no!"
Make it stop.
Again, more cool scenery here for
It's a good boss arena, that.
stuff on fire, library burning.
What are those glowy things?
What indeed?
Those are
What
cool.
Great
Oh, is
question.
that a spoiler?
Indeed. What indeed? moving along.
Nothing to
Oh,
see here.
they're still alive. I think there's fire ghosts up here. Yeah, there they are.
Not anymore.
Burning specters. Yeah, so you kind of make your way through the
Someone's just said in chat, "Rip vampires." And it's like,
library.
yeah.
And
It's like it's gonna be a tier 1
here,
run.
The incinerator, the last boss is there. He kind of sets up a flame wall, prevents you from getting anywhere. Sends his enemies, his buddies against you. More burning specters.
Chat's
Come
like,
on, guys.
how do we save the books?
Well, you might be able to save the books eventually. Not all of them, mind you. But this is cool. Evely learned a trick. She's got water arrows. Yay! She knocks that fire out.
She finally has a water arrow to knock out the wall,
She's
yet
gonna
the
take
whole
high
place is
road, you're
burning
gonna take
down.
the low road.
Come on.
So you get to, it's pretty cool because you get to come in here and you see her. She's gonna be walking up top, and she's like, "Hey, I found something up here." That might have been. It might be over here that she does that. But she does let you know. She goes, "Hey, I found some stuff up here. We'll meet together and find out what it was."
Yeah, I see her.
Yep, there she is.
The writing is all strange scribbles.
She's searching. You're searching. You're actually just trying to find out what's going on. Why are they burning it? Stopping them from burning everything. And she has a very specific purpose in here. Cool statues.
Is that 10 million damage?
Yeah, those are really
Per
nice.
hit?
Are those Imperial?
They are indeed. So this is the Rotunda. This is the second boss. Again, really cool space. That imperial, almost Roman architecture. And this is the boss. You see the final boss is talking to Captain Geminus.
You know, watching him just kill him with instant hit kind of makes you feel the game's a bit
That
cheap.
was easy.
Follow them out. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just like this guy just walking
Make
through,
these
just like dead.
Again, all three of these bosses are. There are 3 bosses in the dungeon, and they each have their own activatable hard mode. So this is pretty cool. This is the Flooded Gardens. So this was a spot where they could kind of go and relax and whatnot. You're kind of outside of the. This is cool too. What's this? Whoop.
Whoa!
What?
What is that?
Oh my goodness, that looks
Do it
fun.
again.
No, I will.
Do it again.
Again, do it again. Yes.
So
Man.
there's some pretty cool stuff with this. This might be important in a boss fight. We'll give you a little bit of chance to play with it, see what it's like, but it might be important. Also,
It's a bit like the grappling hooks that you
fire
get.
behemoths. So
Wow.
these true sworn, nobody knows where they came from. They're obviously fire-based and arsonist-based, and they've been summoning some pretty powerful things. They have these burning specters, they have the flame hounds, and they also have these fire behemoths that they've been summoning to help.
With very big hammers.
They do have very big hammers.
I tried a new shiny
I mean, what's a fire behemoth without a giant hammer, right?
Yeah.
And this is the Walled Arboretum. So this is the final boss. I'm not going to spoil what this is or what happens here. I will show the final boss, though.
Big fight space, though.
He looks so cool.
He's got it. Do you reckon he transforms? He's got to transform, right? Do they transform in
Oh
this?
man, see, I'm looking at that relief on the wall back there
I know,
too.
right? Isn't
It's
that
so
cool?
pretty.
Isn't that cool? Well, if you want to find out anything about this fight, you'll have to wait till tomorrow. to play
Tomorrow
it.
on PTS.
On PTS.
On
Yes,
PTS,
yes, yes.
on PTS. And it wouldn't be so for this dungeon, the veteran reward is the memento that summons these little flame salamanders, which you may see in a boss
He's
fight.
got a voice limiter on it or something that basically, if he shouts,
So
it
it kinda
reduces the
ties
volume,
in.
and then when he
It's kind of
talks,
the same effect
it's
you
adjusts
see.
the. It's an adjustment.
And this one also has again item sets, the 3 item sets plus a monster helmet. The monster helmet is actually modeled after the fire behemoths that you saw, the flame behemoths, rather than this guy, because taking somebody's face and putting it on your face is kind of weird. So
Kind
of creepy, but
Now we also
yes.
have a few new emotes that are actually tied to Battlegrounds in Update 29,
yes.
Oh, cool.
which we can show you now if you all want to see it. Let's show you. So the first one, I don't know which one you're going to do first. We have the Scorching
Whichever.
Chaos Ball. And you get these just by competing in battlegrounds.
Oh, that's fun. He's like,
It's like a
hot,
hot potato.
hot.
Yeah.
Potato, hot potato. Now we also have the Chaos Ball Victory Dance. Yay!
That's a fun one.
I got the ball. And then last, I like this one a lot, is the Chaos Ball Boom.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So again, these come from playing in Battlegrounds in Update 29. They are all emotes.
And I did show off the item set a second ago. This is one of the item sets. You're going to get to see all of them tomorrow.
Item sets tomorrow. Okay, that's good.
But this is Full Killer's Curus. This is from
Activate block while in
Home.
combat. Place a
It's a
damage
heavy
shield
armor set.
on you and up to 3 group members in
And this
18
is what it looks
meters.
like. This is the
Absorbs
visual of this
4,000
heavy armor set.
damage.
And then Baron Zodris' Visage, again, from the Cauldron.
Stage effects. 3
such a
stats
cool
when you
look.
escape
Yeah.
3
It
stats
is,
you are
right?
I
moved
love
and
it.
gained
I love it
ultimate.
too. Yeah, it was really cool, and you see it kind of you see the final boss in that dungeon. He's pretty awesome. He's pretty cool.
Reminiscent of the look.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Finn, always a pleasure to have you on our
Always
streams
a pleasure
with
to
us.
be here.
Thank you so much for
Get a better
showing
mic next
us
time.
You.
just a quick preview of these dungeons. Again, they are coming to PTS tomorrow in Update 29. We're very
I
excited.
cannot wait to see the streams tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes. Stream for Finn and his team, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
they always
absolutely.
watch. They do.
Absolutely.
All right, Finn. Well, thank you again for driving
Yes,
to the
thank
office, for showing us around, and I'm sure we will definitely see you on another stream.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
We have more.
We have a lot to talk about here tonight. Real quick, just want to remind everybody, if you're trying to win that Crown Pack giveaway that we're doing every few minutes, all you have to do is participate in chat, and we are pulling winners straight from Twitch chat. If you want to see if you've won, we have a forum thread that is stickied. You can check out to see if your name is listed there. And for drops, you have to make sure that you claim a drop in order to be eligible for the next one. So for every 30 minutes that you tune in and watch, you will be able to earn
there's a
an
forum
Ouroboros
post for
Crown
it,
Crate.
right?
And don't forget about the Dragon Frog pet too, which we've seen a lot of you have already been able to claim. So before we move on and welcome Brian Wheeler, we just want to talk about some housing updates coming to Update 29. We know that a lot of you are very enthusiastic about housing. So we have a few kind of quality of life things that are coming into this update. First is fast traveling outside of your homes. We're going to be allowing you to... Oh, well, there's a house. So we're going to allow you to fast travel outside of your homes if you want, or you can still travel inside. Just make it a little bit easier for you. Next, we have improvements coming to previewing, furnishing, and house guests. So, by house, we're going to basically allow you to preview furnishing and furnishing plans directly from your inventory. And also, when previewing a house guest, you will be able to see a selection of voice lines, so you can kind of get a sense of their personality a little bit.
Decide if you really want them chatting in your house or not.
I mean, it's legit, right?
Yep.
We have a furnishing. We have a bunch of new furnishings coming in Update 29, but we do have one furnishing in particular that's really cool that you're going to be able to test on PTS. It's called the Ethereal Well. So when you place this in your home, you and your guests will be able to fully restore all health, magicka, stamina, and ultimate. So this is going to be really cool if you're doing like dueling tournaments, or if you're trying to do some DPS parses or something. You can use that furnishing and replenish everything, which is pretty
We
cool,
also
right?
have, yeah, it is. We also have, and you guys saw a sneak peek of one of them just now. We have 2 brand new houses that will be on the PTS that you can check out, tour.
Ooh, I still haven't bought my house yet as well.
And the first one is located in Vardenfell. It's called Barlaeus Vea, Iliad Ruins.
Ooh, nice. You practiced that.
That looks
didn't you?
cool. That looks cool.
There we go.
Yeah, all right,
So
Dot.
that
No
is
worries,
the
my dude.
first house. And then the second is the Kushalit Sanctuary in Gold Coast.
Ooh.
So you'll be able to check these out starting tomorrow on the PTS, and we encourage you to do so.
All right.
We might even take a closer look at these in a future stream.
Sure we will. I know Cullen loves to show off all the houses. All right, so before we move on, we do want to announce our next giveaway winner for that merchandise bundle that we showed off earlier. So we have Mighty
I'll see you later,
Rhino
mate.
Gaming just
Congratulations.
won. Congratulations. And you know what? Screw it. Let's do another winner.
Want to do 2? All right. Foresterus. Congratulations, both.
Congratulations to you both. You just won that lithograph, the Blackwood t-shirt, the Dwarven Constellation Cube, those artifacts, and that entire bundle of the statue and Mehrunes Dagon lithograph and the token. Really cool stuff, right? So these will be going
Good
out
night, mate.
again
Thank you
a
for the
little bit
sub, dude.
closer to the summertime when everything is released.
I'll see you soon, buddy.
What do we have? Let's get Brian Wheeler in here. So
Let's
Brian
talk to
Wheeler,
Wheeler.
our lead PvP and
Tell me
combat
I don't know how much I
designer.
can go on for,
And It's
actually.
been a while since we've heard from Wheeler. Here he is.
Hey, Brian.
In the, not really the
How's your
flesh,
microphone,
in the
Brian?
electronic
I'm
flesh.
not in the studio.
Live
What, you
from
don't have
your
a
home.
fireplace in your office?
That would be bitchin'.
Right?
But no, this is just the house. It's just home. Everybody's staying safe.
All right,
Yeah.
so Brian is here to talk about some pretty interesting things. We're excited to
That's one way to word it.
we're excited to have him on here to talk
thank
about
you,
some
Mindy.
things coming in Update 29. So Brian,
Yep.
take it away.
Well, I want to start first off. It's something that I haven't been here for a while, right? And I just want to take a minute to kind of thank everybody that's been working on what we're getting ready to talk about for a long time. When I got put in charge of the combat team, I think this is about 2 years ago now, we kind of got put to task of, trying to help combat evolve and set it up for the future in ESO. And we've done a lot of work for that so far, and what we're getting ready to talk about also will detail a lot of what we've been talking about, I want to say, at least for the past year and a half. So I just want to take a minute. Like, again, I'm here to represent everybody from the combat team, from other teams that we've worked with as we've worked on these things. So I just want to thank real quick, like Alec, Nadav, Kyle, our engineers, Connor, John, and Dylan, the UI team that we've had to work heavily with, Bobby, Kyle, different Kyle, Seth, and Vince. They've done a great job at getting the UI for everything we're getting ready to talk about worked up. Our QA team has done really, really well. Kevin, Steven, Jake, I'm sure there's a ton of other people, David, they go through everything we, present to them and be like, please find what's messed up with this. So
It's definitely
we
a
can
team
get it
effort, right?
fixed.
Yeah,
Right,
there's always an army of people behind everything. you see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Including
that
this
stretches
stream.
off. Right, exactly. And that stretches off to like Finn. Like we've been working
Yeah,
with Finn
yeah.
and Jeremy to make sure everything we do doesn't like destroy PvE or dungeons or anything like that. And obviously I care about PvP. And this all, branches back to the faith we get from Rich and Rob to be like, you know what, go forth, fix this. We know that you can do a good job. And I just want to thank everybody. Again, I am representing what we've worked on for a while, but I just want to take a second to thank everybody because it's a lot of work that we've done over the past 2 years, a lot
Especially
of meetings.
from home over the last year.
Exactly, and over the past year, definitely hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that what we're getting ready to show everybody is exciting, and you are looking forward to testing it tomorrow, as much as we've been playing it and testing it and playing it for the past,
Months.
again, for months,
Yeah.
months and months and months.
Yep. Big test.
So that's a hell of a build-up. So I'm just going to hit a button here and make everybody kind of like go, oh my god. So this is a major update regarding a system that's been in the game for a very long time. The champion system has been in Elder Scrolls Online for years. And its initial goals to provide a means to progress your character beyond level 50. Did that for a very long time.
This is gonna be massive.
But the problem was
They've
we started
changed it,
to
right?
have to cap it. As everybody's known, we've had it capped at A10 for a very long time. And people have said, when are we going to get an update? When are we getting something? And it's been real hard trying not to say, we've been working on it for a while.
It's coming.
So,
Yeah, because progression feels good.
exact. Yeah. And this is something that we wanted to tackle from several avenues. It wasn't just, we want to update it and that's it. That's all we care about. No, there are lots of angles that we approached with this. One is sort of what I talked about a little bit already, which was progression. But there's two types of progression. There's horizontal, which is sort of like broadening your character, letting you do more things, and Elder Scrolls is known for horizontal progression across the board, but also vertical. Vertical progression is, more power, letting your characters heal more, damage more, soak up more damage, do more things. And CP 1.0, as we're going to call it,
The original, the current version, I
right?
guess.
The OG,
Yeah.
CP, right? It did a great job at that, but again, we had to cap it, and we started to see the limitations that it had. So we had to fix that. We had to provide not only vertical power, but also horizontal power to let people broaden their characters. Other aspects that we wanted to
I wonder
tackle
how this is
with
going to change. This
involve
is insane. This is going to
choices.
be mental.
If you think about CP 1.0, there are 36 stars that you can put points into. And after you start to whittle that down, it's really, okay, are you stam? Are you mag? Are you damage? Are you
Putting
healing?
more points into the same.
Yeah, and that 36 points, that 36 options gets whittled down real fast. So it really wasn't much of an option. And we wanted to address that, but again, we wanted to have choices that are involved with that. If you think about your hotbar, your ability bar, you can only put 12 things on there. So you have obviously tons of skills, tons of abilities that you could put on there, but it was just like with Champion 1.0, you just got everything. I was like, whatever. And my dog's drinking in the background. You may hear loud slipping. I'm sorry for that.
You know what? Poppers are a part of at-home streams.
Yeah, right?
It's all good.
That's true. He's a 95-pound golden retriever that likes
That's
to
me up there, top
slurp
there.
a lot of water.
We see a lot of people asking questions in chat about what are we seeing? What's that thing up there? We are definitely going to get into all of it. Don't worry.
We're
We
gonna
are.
get into that
We're
for
gonna
sure.
take a look.
Yeah.
We are actually looking at
Don't
part of
worry.
the game. Yeah.
Yep. We need to explain where we're going before we kind of explain where we're at right now with what you're getting ready to play.
So Brian, it
and-
sounds like you guys are looking to create a end game system building upon the original champion system that has more choices, more tools in your toolbox, and is expandable into the future.
Definitely. And one of the last things that we had to address was performance. As you saw in Matt's article, performance is a very big focus for the company.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that Elder Scrolls Online is progressing into the future, not only just for players and be able to advance their character, but making sure that the game is performant. And that was another main focus.
So I don't understand what
And
they're
that is
doing.
a priority across the board this year.
Absolutely, yes. So we're gonna kind of start breaking down some differences between 1.0 and 2.0 here. Obviously, you can see that we kind of kept the same color scheme of green, blue, and red, but
The
things
UI
are
is beautiful, by the way.
different.
It does look
yeah,
really nice.
yeah.
It's really
And this is
pretty.
kind of what I was talking about with the UI team. Oh God, Vince did a great job mocking these things up.
Yeah.
But you can see the name's different. One of those things is called Warfare. This one's called Craft. And this one's called Fitness. They each have
This is really interesting.
stars that are sort of focused around that. And I apologize for trying to keep my dog not barking as I do this.
It's all good.
But let's go into Warfare here real fast.
Just pet
So
the
there are
dog.
3 instead of 9 now.
They're 3 instead of 9. And you spend points in every star. In CP 1.0, you spent points in just a couple stars, or 12 per color. Now we're talking somewhere around the vicinity of 99 stars that you're going to spend points into. So big variety changes.
Yeah.
We also changed the functionality of the stars. You remember how before it was just like you would spend points in a star and it would just increment it as you went.
Yep.
And that was a very familiar method of progression everybody's used to. But it also had that thing called jump points.
Yep.
Whereas like if you were in between a point, you're like, oh, I'm not really a full percentage point, so I'm actually getting it. We did away with that by doing these things called stages of points. So as you saw in that other star, it was like, I spend a point, I get stats, no problem. In this one, I have to spend at least 10 points to get the stamina from it. If I keep going forward, obviously I can spend some more points. But this gets rid of that concept of jump points where you're like, oh my, I'm not fully there. I don't really understand it. Is it 0.01%?
Yeah, that percentage of a percentage. Yep.
That's really good. That's really helpful.
Yeah, it makes it
Very
much more
clear
clear.
in that regard. That helps out with some of the problems of clarity for getting people into the system as well.
Right.
But we're kind of talking about vertical progression here more than horizontal, and I'm going to touch on horizontal in a second. By the fact that I'm getting max stamina. Great, no problem. Here, I'm also getting max mag. Now we're going to get into something that is... See how this is sort of like a different color to the star? It's got
A lot
like
of
this
different
extra...
colors.
This I can actually take, and you see where it says add to champion bar to activate?
Show me, Brian.
That's where you actually drag it to this top bar up here. I know everybody's looking at this top bar going, what is this?
What is it?
It's a means to tackle two things at once. One is performance, because a lot of abilities, if you think about Bastion, for example, from CP 1.0, it's something that affects your damage shields. So every time you
This is the new
an
CP wheel,
ability,
yeah, Jones.
the system would
Absolutely.
have to go, was that a damage
This is
shield?
it.
Do I need to worry about that? And we're talking, and when I say every time you do an ability, I mean like even drinking a potion.
Yeah, they're making it a lot easier. You know how they have jump points? They're
was
kind
that a
of making it
damage
very
shield?
obvious now with those.
So,
So that helps.
We've done a little bit of work with this
massively.
over the past couple of years.
Because that's a lot of
addressing-
checks.
Yes, it is.
That's a lot of
I think they, by the looks of it, they're
If
just
you think
refining
about,
it to make it a lot easier to
basically
use.
a decently specced out CP 1.0 character, they got like 30 or 40 passives on them at one time. It's checking that every time you.
How's it going, Jones?
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Especially in
chat, dude. You're
combat.
very quiet stream tonight.
So
but
it's
all good.
It's a lot.
And to
So
be
we're limiting
clear,
that to 12 there.
I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say, like, that bar up there, I'm pointing with my mouse, like everybody can see it. The bar, the champion bar up there, I see people asking, like, is this permanent? Can I respec this? Like, think of it like your ability bar, where you can kind of swap
ability
out
bar.
abilities. Yeah. You can move things in and out in different
Yeah, like,
situations.
Here's a real clear example. It's like I got something there.
Oh, okay. So you can select which points you want.
As long
So
as
that
I'm
you
not in
have.
combat. I can
All right, so
swap
you can
those out.
customize it.
Yeah,
That
so
is
you can do
nice.
this anywhere. It doesn't have limitations of location. It's just whether or not you're in combat.
Right. So you do have to start making some choices on which ones you want up
Yes.
there.
Now that does bring up a valid point that if one of the concerns is, oh my God, there's only 12 passes up here, what about these other ones? These are things, if you think about like an item set, when you get max stamina on an item set, that doesn't function the same way that an ability would work. So this is just straight up giving you a stat, no problem, there's no performance hit on that at
So
all.
not all the stars you see have to be slotted.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So in
that's
this
good.
case, again, I'm just pointing at max stamina in this
Yeah.
case, but you also have a slottable max stamina one, because this one you can just keep putting points into it as well. So when we look at the system, you kind of touched on it earlier. We want this to be able to grow moving forward. And if you think about the original champion system, it kind of had the art. It was kind of like locked in on that one layer, and that was kind of it, right? We wanted to make sure that we could add more stars to this system. So we've added sort of a layering method where within a constellation, you have a secondary constellation. And we have three types of constellations. Three sub-constellations per constellation. So this gives us lots of room to expand. But you could say in this case, like, here's some healing taken, and here's another slottable for crit resistance, which we all know is great for PvP. So, again, every constellation has 3 of these types of substars
That's
available
good.
to them. In Warfare, we have them filled out right now. But if you look at something like Fitness, they don't have sub-constellations just yet. We can add them in the future. And that is one of the great things about this system, that it is built from the ground up to be able to support ESO for many, many years to come. This lets us add more stars if we want to.
Yeah.
And
So
again, the
on
same
the-
functionality is here.
Oh, that's cool. So on the PTS tomorrow, when people try this out, the only constellation that will have those, I don't know, I guess
The
we could call them nebulas.
sub-constellations.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
sub-constellations
sub-constellations.
is this one, Warfare.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. But again, that doesn't preclude us from adding more into them later on.
Yeah, and
That's
to be
very cool.
clear,
This-
this is part
very,
of
very
update
cool.
29. I see a lot of people
Yeah,
asking,
this
when does
isn't
this go
30.
live? Like, no, this is this upcoming DLC and the base game patch. So it will be on PTS
You'll be able
tomorrow.
to play this tomorrow.
Yep, on PTS. I know
Yep.
some people are saying this looks a little confusing. Like, once you get in there and kind of start clicking around and getting used to the system.
Yeah,
This is
it's
a lot to
definitely-
take in right now. We know.
Exactly.
It
This
is.
is a lot of information. And again, this is stuff that we've worked on. Oof.
This is huge change.
So it's been
This
a
is
while.
like,
I
I mean,
guess
I
one
got
of the
to
other
think
main
that
points
most of the
we wanted
changes
to
they're going to
remember
make are going to
about
be
this is
similar to
you
what
see
they
how
have
this
out
thing's
already.
called Craft. We didn't want to make it all about combat. That was sort of one of the things that CP 1.0 had a little bit that it touched on, with being able to like yield double from crafting nodes out in the wild. But we're trying to push that a little bit further, where if you look at this one, like Breakfall, it reduces your fall damage taken. And then we have some stars that cost a lot, but you see it's pretty important. If you resurrect yourself or somebody else, you have a chance not to consume a soul gem. So this I guess constellation is focused not necessarily on combat itself, but things you do around combat, but also just, what you're doing around in the world. This is where
It's a
you're
lot
going to
of
find
utility.
right a lot of utility for your character. And this again, this UI, it's gorgeous. They did an amazing job on it, and these are it for the constellations. There's no like, where's the other 6? This is a 3, but again, we're going from 36 choices to 99, and yes, it is overwhelming from when you just think about it at the start, but you'll start to see patterns in these things. Like over here, here's like healing done on this side, where on this side it's about damage. So you'll start to see that everything's linked together in a manner that supports various play styles. Not so much necessarily am I mag or stam,
Yeah.
but like what am I playing?
And I'm seeing that there's a lot of functionality that was in, is
That's
in
really
the
cool. I like
original
it.
Champion
I like the
system that
changes
is
here.
still here. So
Yes.
it seems like we're not really going to lose a lot of that functionality. Perhaps some of the passives that you could slot,
Yeah,
but also
we did,
specializing.
Yeah, we did pull in a bunch of passives. I mentioned Bastion earlier. We pulled that one in. We have things like Unchained, various CP abilities from CP 1.0 that we pulled into 2. But obviously, there's some new ones that we've added.
There's a lot of
as
new
well.
ones, yeah.
Right, like this is an example, and this is where we get into that horizontal progression, because as you are progressing through CP, there's going to be a point where you've gotten as much, I guess, vertical power out of it as you can, and then it turns into choices. Like, what do you want to slot instead
Right.
of what you've had up there? But it is obviously important to slot up all 12 of these as much as possible. It's just like your action bar, and that is a conscious decision that we've looked at design.
I'm guessing this means that you don't
trade-offs
get
in this new system. But
and
again,
when you're building your
because it's
character, you
expandable,
feel that you're not
and
getting
because
gimped
that
by not
we
being
know that
like
we
max
can
CP, because you
keep
can only have a
progressing
limited
this in
number
the
of choices
future.
at the top bar.
we think that
Bar the passives
the
that are in the-
capability of
in the-
adding
in this
all kinds of
constellation
new, unique
itself.
stars to this system is boundless, and we can't wait to add more stuff to it.
Yeah.
That being said, obviously everybody can see that these numbers add up way beyond 810.
What's that mean?
They do.
So the cap will be lifted. We will
wow.
be going up to 3,600.
So people who are already
Wow,
higher
3,600
slot
cap.
Let's be able to
they
spend
can-
the points.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy.
That is
And in doing that, we did address the curve, the rate to level up. So you will be able to level up and not like blaze through it, but it's not like, oh my god, I'm stuck getting up to 3600. There's definitely there's a point again where you start to get as much power out of this as you're going to get, and then it just turns into choices. And that's again what Elder Scrolls is all about. It's about
That's
choices.
good. That is
it's about
really good.
building your character, how you want to build your character.
All about the situation.
Exactly.
That's gonna be really good for PvP actually, because it will make.
And if you want to respect it, you kind of touched on this
PvP
earlier. It doesn't
balanced.
cost anything to change what you have slotted. It still costs a standard 3,000 gold to, change up your stars.
Like
if you wanted to go
everything,
through,
right. Yeah.
right, you can just go, okay, I didn't want 40 points there. Let me change it and put it somewhere else. That's still the 3,000, of course.
Yeah. Brian, I see a lot of people in chat asking about the gear cap. So we talked about the champion point cap being raised. What about gear cap?
It's still going to stay at 160.
Okay.
Level 50 CP 160 is still the same.
Okay.
That is not going to change.
And to be clear, we touched on this earlier, how Matt said in his kind of retrospective last year that a lot of our focus is on performance this year. You might be looking at this like, oh my God, you're redoing this entire system. How is that focusing on performance? But a lot of this does help with perf issues, as Brian was saying. So.
Yeah, and that gets back to, again, the functionality of this champion bar for one. Because if you look at On Guard, for example, it's while under the effect of crowd control immunity. That is a requirement that has to be checked. That is why we have it set up right here, where you have to have this slotted. You just don't get it for free.
Right.
If you want to have that bonus, you need to actually commit to having it.
Yeah.
Versus just 30 or 40 passes on your character that's just checking every time you're doing something.
So
That's
this
good.
reduces the amount of passives that have to be checked against the server any number of times per minute to 12 at any given time. Is that right?
It's not even per minute; it's per action. It's
Yeah. Oh, true.
anytime you do anything shy of WASD movement and jumping, this is going to cut down on that stuff.
Whereas
Again,
before it was dozens.
right?
Of
Yeah, and
passives.
Right.
I want to stress this isn't a silver bullet. This is a step in line with what we're trying to do as a studio to
Right.
progress ESO forward, to make it more performant, and to make sure that we're building combat abilities and systems that support that goal. And that was a major part of the champion upgrade system.
Brian, one thing I'm seeing is we had talked about how you took this system and this gave everybody as a team the opportunity to not only make it more performant, give players more choices, make it more expandable, but I'm also seeing that you all took that opportunity to also look at where you could give better choices, where you could make improvements on some of the passives that were available and what's missing, or what have players been asking for that we could add, and that's really cool.
And that gets, I guess, it's really pointed out in the warfare tree, where on this side, again, you have sort of the damage style stuff, and on this side you have the healing. But in the middle up top is where you start getting some flavor, and the bottom down here is where you start to get into survivability. Then it turns into a bit of, okay, what am I going to spec this character out as? Am I going to make it surviving? Obviously there's some stuff that is in the conditioning trees that helps out a bit, but this really does make you have to figure out what you want to build your character as.
And that goes back to the situations,
Right.
Do you like to play mostly PvP? Do you like to mostly do trials? Do you solo most of the time? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
And all these stars, all of them, again, there's about 99 of them, are going to be playable on PTS tomorrow.
Awesome.
Lots
This
of
is
stuff.
huge.
Now, Brian, you have
a
couple other things that is going into the update.
So I don't know if anybody caught this quickly when we were on the initial screen here, but you can see that there's a new stat here that everybody's been asking for on their screen. Spell pen, Viz pen. We know that there's a lot of people that play the game that don't have access to mods. And we know that there's been a mod that people have used on PC for a long time that gives them more stats than people have been able to see elsewhere.
Numbers, yay!
So this is now something that is base game, where we are giving you, quote unquote, an advanced stat window where you can see things that like your bash cost, your block cost, break free cost reduction, all this stuff is now added in here. And you can see how some are percentages and some are flat values. Obviously, you know, this is how much does it cost you to sprint. This is how much does it cost you to sneak. But there are other things like how fast what's the percentage on the sneak speed.
Yeah.
This kind of is very visible in the, you know, the crit and the physical damage and bleed damages. We wanted to include flat and percent because we
This
kind
is
of
going to
have
really be
both
nice for console
that are
players.
provided to you, depending upon abilities that you have cast, whether you have a major or minor on you, you know, whether you're wearing a certain type of gear or whether you have certain champion points spent. So this information we felt was also critical to give to people to not only build their characters, but also to help them progress moving forward. We have this one thing over here, which is, you know, an equipment bonus star rating. That was cool to see, like, okay, yeah, I should be wearing gold gear and I should have it, you know, at CP 160. And that's like, yeah, you're wearing the right amount of gear. But you had to like really dissect all this stuff down here. And it wasn't enough information that people were getting. So that's why we felt like, you know what, we should give advanced stats by default. Because a lot of people use that mod. And it's great to just say, you know what, doesn't matter if you're on PC or console, you now get to go ahead and get your advanced stats, which is pretty cool.
And that,
That helps you build your character.
And it is on PC and console, which is pretty exciting.
Yep.
Console players are like, oh, finally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give
exactly.
everybody
See all the
access.
More stuff to show on people's YouTube's videos about how they're building out their characters.
Yeah, right?
With the
Yeah.
stat.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there's one more thing to show. It's a lot. I know that everybody's like, oh my god, champion point, champion point. I want to go back to
I'm in
that
the
real
wrong
quick
set.
and note that everybody that used to play a lot of CP understands that as you were spending points in CP as you leveled up, you would just get some passive max mag health and stamina. As you can see on this character, these stats look pretty high. We took a lot of the stats that people were getting in CP 1.0 and sort of baked them into characters as you leveled from 1 to 50, because all of the work that we've done balance-wise, item set-wise, ability-wise over the past 2 years is kind of reflected in each of these stars about how many points you get per stage and how many points per click on some of these. This is all taken into account our balance passes, our calculators that say how much a item set proc or an item set passive gives you for your stats. That's why we saw that we needed to actually make sure we cooked in some of those stats that you were getting for free in CP 1.0, because if you think about it, if you have to spend points in CP to get health, mag, and stam, that's not really a choice. It's just something that you should have. It's just something that should just be baked into your character.
Right.
And through our testing over the past several months, like we saw that we needed to add that in there to make sure that people can still do content. And that was a major focus as well, that when you go from CP 1.0 to 2.0, you can still do the content that you were able to do yesterday. It's not like some magical switch that was like, nope, you can't do Overland anymore. You got to spend all these points. You got to retool your character. That was a very major focus of Jeremy and Finn and Rich and Rob. We were all very, very focused on making sure that you could still do content that you were able to do the day before.
That's awesome.
So it's not like a hard reset button or anything like that. It's just another.
This is a
way
really
to
good choice.
specialize
I think
your
it's a
character.
better, much more
You're
of a
still gonna be
quality
able to go out
choice
there and beat
that they've
hard
done
mode.
here.
We've seen our internal QA hardcore team go out and still beat hard mode. They do hard mode with no CP spent, so they're able to go through and still do the content, which is good. But again, we want CP to give you more options, and that's kind of what I'm getting ready to branch into next, which is this last thing
More options.
about armor. If you think about armor in Elder Scrolls, mainly in I don't
They
know,
got
you keep
light
it on
armor
Oblivion,
penalties, light armor
Skyrim.
bonuses. It's got a different change here. to
Clunking
those.
around in heavy armor, you're not too stealthy when you do that.
No.
You can take a beating, but like people are going to hear your clanky feet walking around, and your stealth is not going to be that great. Now we're not going to go full ham and say that you can't stealth at all while you're wearing heavy armor, or if you're wearing light armor, you can move like the wind and jump 500 feet with athletics. But we do know that
It's heavy.
armor armor is definitely it is a choice that you make when you build out your character, whether you're going into PvP, whether you're going into trials or dungeons or just roaming around the world. We know that there are definitely metas out there where if you're going to do damage, you wear all medium or you wear all light if you're in a trial in an optimized group. But we also know that the passes we have in light, medium, and heavy don't really sort of drive home that concept of this is armor and these things are augmenting the armor.
This is interesting. I like
So
what they're doing here with
What we wanted
this.
to do was make
This is really going to
whether you're
change how
wearing light,
the
medium, or heavy feel like you're wearing light,
how it's gonna
medium, or
work.
heavy. We've added these quote unquote penalties and bonuses that go with a play style that we have observed. And
Hover over
understand
light armor
most
penalties.
people
Come on, I wanna
in
see
that
it.
type of armor play as. So a good example of this would be a light armor bonus. If you're wearing
reduce the
light
cost of
armor, 9
dodge roll,
times out of
movement
10,
speed, sneaking by 5%. Cost of breakthrough by
you're doing
5%.
magical
Cost of
style
bash. Reduce the cost of bash by
you're doing
3%.
magical effects. So by that nature, you should be sort of more resistant to magical. You are, you're Gandalf. You're a mage. You're doing things that are magical. But again, if you think of Skyrim and Oblivion, light armor had magical bonuses,
Right.
and that's sort of what we're trying to.
What are the
reflect with
penalties?
this. But then we kind of went into the vicinity of, well, what does wearing light armor actually feel like? And how does it interact with our core mechanics like dodge, like sprint, like block? One of the things you can see here is that the cost of bash is reduced by 3%. It's because, you're wearing clothes. It shouldn't be a lot to bash somebody. But on the other hand, your damage while bashing is reduced because
Increases
there's not a
damage
lot
taken
behind
from
it.
martial attacks.
Where if
No,
you
no,
think
no, no,
about
go back, go
heavy
back, go back, go
armor,
back.
you get to hit a little bit harder
Yeah.
because there's a lot more mass behind that bash.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where we went with this. We went with what is the fantasy of wearing heavy, light, medium, and what is the interactions that you get with the core mechanics. And heavy and light sort of play off each other. So if you're in like 3 light, 3 heavy, there's going to be some things that sort of neutral each other out. You can see here there's reduces damage taken from martial attacks in heavy. And in light, there's increases damage taken from martial attacks. They're both 1%. So if you have 3 and 3, it's a null game. No problem.
Reduce the cost, increase the cost of
Medium
block
is
by
where we
3%,
sort of
decreases
added
the...
some extra little tidbits that felt more like you're a sneaky character. And that's sort of what medium felt like to us. It felt like, you're a roguey style character walking around, stealing things, sneaking things. But that's where we had to get a little creative as well, where as soon as you dodge, you get to not necessarily get too messed up by an area effect. You're a slippery character. It's leather. Stuff doesn't stick to it. You know what I mean? So that's sort of where we went with armor to make armor feel like armor. In a lot of our playtests, in PvP especially, a lot of feedback was this feels like my choice matters.
Yeah. Goes
That's
back to
good.
choice.
I'm
am I
liking
wearing
that.
heavy? Right. And this is gonna reflect in trials and in dungeons, and it may just support what some people already do, and that's fine. But we definitely didn't want to make it where people had a de facto armor. That's just what you wear. That's it.
Which
no
is
matter
what's
what.
happening now, yeah.
Right.
In a lot of cases.
And, and that's again what the combat team has been tasked to look at for the past 2 years. And we're not done. We still have lots of other stuff we still need to do.
Well, not for update
But-
29, but
Not for
in the
29.
future.
Right. That's a lot to absorb
Yeah.
for 29.
Oh, you don't want to
Yeah.
add more to update 29?
More things. More
That's
things.
huge.
I've lost a lot of hair in the past 3 or 4 months, so I've gotten a lot more grays that I've trimmed up for the show. But yeah, it's been a rough year, not just because of everybody having to have to be safe, but we've had a lot of work that we've done, and I hope that again everybody can appreciate all the work that the combat team has done, the UI team, QA. Leadership. It's been a long haul. We've kept a lot of this stuff under our hat. Even if you think about the past update,
Some of this has been in progress for like a year.
It's been a
If you think
while,
about like
for
the
sure.
set collection,
Yeah, yeah.
that was all part of this as well to help with these changes that we knew were coming. And these are all things that we've had to have meetings and hours of design discussions, and it's great to see it all in game and everybody being able to play it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will be
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot
we
of it
will
is
have,
starting with the foundation.
We will be posting a more detailed write-up on the forums immediately following this stream. Just kind of getting into the new champion system, or I'll say the updated champion system, and then touching on the advanced stats and the armor type changes. And again, like this will all be in the patch notes.
I'm so
also,
pleased that I haven't done any
tomorrow,
build
once
guides
we're in PTS maintenance.
until now. This is
Lots
a
of
great
good
way
ones.
to
There's
get stuck
obviously there's going to be other changes that we do, per usual for the combat team to address outlying performance issues with various abilities. That will be in the PTS patch notes as well. But these were the major things that we wanted to talk about, and we again thank everybody that has been working on this, and we are looking forward to everybody's feedback on this one.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but we are looking forward to working with the system for years and years to come.
Now, we would be amiss if we didn't touch on PvP updates. So,
Right.
last year, if you remember, we were kind of investigating ways to improve performance in Cyrodiil. We ran a whole bunch of tests throughout 2020, and as we posted on the forums, those tests didn't result in a significant enough impact on improving the overall experience in Cyrodiil.
Right.
So we had last said, we're going to go back to the drawing board, kind of digest everything, and then kind of come back in the new year to see what we want to do next. So do you want to touch on, we've had a couple meetings so far, just kind of touch on what we're planning on doing first?
Nope. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right, bye.
Moving on. So what's the next test?
The next test, we believe is going to be happening sometime in mid-February, where we intend to disable item set procs in Cyrodiil. It's only going to be Cyrodiil. Battlegrounds and Imperial City will still function just the same. But this means not just item set procs, but also item sets that have any sort of ability associated with it. This gets back to kind of what we talked about a little bit with Champion, where if you think about a set like Seducer, it has to check, are you doing a magical ability? That's a check. And we are just straight up like disabling checks across the board, whether it's, Malakino or Valkynscoria. It's like, nope. If it's an item set that has an ability associated with it, whether it's a monster mask, or a 5-piece, or even an arena weapon, we're going to be disabling those for that test to see how that plays out. We'll be doing the same thing where we're going to look at our ability graphs, seeing the performance, seeing the frames. And when I mean the frames on the server, we're not talking about your client FPS. We're talking about like the server being able to handle every quote frame of information that it receives during that time.
That's huge.
During that, we're also
that is massive.
Revert one of the things we did before, which is any abilities that hit an ally target. Right now, they only go to group. We're going to let them go outside of group again. There wasn't, as far as we could tell, much of a discernible performance gain out of that, and we wanted to let that ride for a little bit to see if there was something we needed to visualize over time. But also, we've seen the feedback from the forums, from the players out there.
Yeah.
Not being able to hear your buddy that's right next to you kind of sucks. So Again, we're not doing that decision lightly. We've looked at performance and seen that is, by turning that back on, we're not going to have a significant hit. Like, oh my God, it's 5 billion times worse now. We know that the prohibition of just being able to heal Gina when she's right next to her is kind of a far worse experience than the potential frame hit that may come from that.
Right.
We know that is not as bad as it could potentially be. So that's why we are rolling that one back as well.
Yeah,
So
and
you can
similar to the test that we ran last year, this will only be live in Cyrodiil for however long, a few weeks or whatever it's going to be.
And PC only.
PC only, and it doesn't mean that we're definitely doing anything. We have to run these tests on live to see what sort of impact it makes.
Yep.
Exactly.
So Brian, just to clarify, you can still wear those sets. The
can
procs
still wear
or
them.
abilities just won't fire off
They
while
won't
the
fire,
test is going
correct.
on. Okay. So people don't have to redo their sets.
Right. Yeah, you just have to go out and just wear things like Shackle and Julie or something like that, where it's just straight stats.
Yeah.
So we'll have more information posted soon, just kind of how this test is going to work and recapping everything that we're doing during the tests. And again, tonight we will be posting on the forums a more detailed write-up about the champion point improvements, the advanced stats UI, and the armor type changes.
It's a long read. Sorry.
No, it's good. People
A
like
lot to write up.
information. Information is
It
good,
is
right?
good.
Yep.
So Brian, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much. Tell
Showing
Link
all
we
of this
said
off.
hello.
That's some big changes to PvP. I don't really do much
Link is
Cyrodiil,
locked
mainly
out right
battlegrounds,
there. He's good
dungeons,
to go.
and
know,
Imperial
mine came
City,
over and
but
was
I'm
like,
pleased
did I
that they're having a look
What's
at
going
that,
on?
because proc
I wanna
sets
eat.
are
Right.
All right. Well,
Thank you all very
not
much.
ideal.
yep, we look
Thank
forward
you.
to checking out the new champion point system on PTS.
Looking forward to that feedback left and right.
Yes.
That's good.
Have a good night, Brian.
Okay, bye. There he goes. So,
All right, y'all still with us?
whew, long stream today. Long
Yes.
day.
We just
All right.
have a few more things to go over with you. So next up, we're going to talk about in-game events, and we'll do another giveaway, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, we're almost done.
All right, so in-game events. For a long time now, our players have been asking us to share with them a schedule of in-game events, and good news, we're going to start doing that. So what you're
Yay.
seeing now is a graphic that we'll be sharing at the beginning of each quarter that shows you the upcoming events for that quarter. No dates, but at least it gives you a month, and then you can keep an eye on the official ESO site for the dates and event information. So the first one, Mid-Year Mayhem, is starting in a couple
Thursday,
days,
yeah.
on the 28th.
All the things.
The website article will be published tomorrow. The Tribunal Celebration, which is a new event taking place in Vardenfell, and I think there's a few other places too, will go out in February. And then Jester's Festival will be in March.
Everybody's favorite.
AK
And
execution.
Jenny, you still there?
Yes? Can you not hear
Okay.
me?
No, I do now.
I went and ate dinner. Bye. No, I'm still here. And then we do want to talk a little bit about the new collectible for events this year. We kind of touched on it earlier. Hold on. I know you all can't hear it, but I can hear it. I can hear Brian typing manically. Or no, it's Finn. It's Finn returns. Mute your mic. Hold on, I'm just going to mute him myself. There. Sorry, I couldn't think. With
We're
the
hearing
typing in
clacky, 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 clacky.
Did you
in
hear
our
it too?
ears. Yeah.
Good. I think it was Finn. I'm going to blame him. Just that's what we do, right? All right, so let's talk about this new collectible that is replacing the Indrik from last year's events. So it's going to be a pet this year. It's called the Unstable Morpholith. This is a floating pet. You can't really tell from the screenshot, but he does kind of float behind you. He or she, it floats behind you, I guess. So again, this is replacing the Indrik mount that you learned to know and love from last year. Starting with Mid-Year Mayhem this month, you can collect your event tickets You trade the event tickets and the impresario for fragments. This requires 3 fragments to combine, and then you get this pet. Now, this is cool. But the really cool thing about this pet is you can morph it into other things as we have more and more events this year. So...
Oh, this is awesome.
The
morphing your pets. Oh, I like it.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. That's what happens when I start getting hungry. It's like, whoop, there it goes. So this is going to work similar to the Indrik evolution process. So the first morph that you'll be able to do by the end of Q1 this year is the Deadlands Scorcher skin. Looks like this. You may have seen it at a couple impresario locations recently. Just a little tease. So if you happen to see these guys standing around, this is the skin that you'll be able to morph the pet into, because why not? Let's just morph some pets, right? So basically, you're going to collect 3 separate fragments using event tickets again during Q1 events. Use those to then morph your pet into this skin. So I know, I see chat like, I didn't expect that. Pretty cool, right?
It is cool. It's really cool.
So what's also really cool is the skin is the first thing that you can morph in Q1. Q2 is going to be a personality. Q3 is going to be a mount. And Q4, get ready for this, it's a house. We're going to morph your pet into a damn house.
What?
So... each time you want to morph, you have, just like the Indrik, you have to start with the base thing. So for this, it's the pet, and then you can morph into these other things. So we morph the pet into a house, exactly.
Yep.
So looking forward...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we're looking forward to kind of showing you exactly what these will all look like as the year progresses. But we'll give you something to look forward to.
It is very similar to the Indrik, but in place of the feathers and the berries, you're collecting... fragments.
Different fragments, yep.
Different fragments. They're all called fragments. All the fragments. All right, that's it. We have one more.
One more winner.
Giveaway winner.
That's right, we still have one more winner.
One more winner. Let's announce the winner, and then we will wrap up and let you all go.
Last
some
winner.
Of you are with us very late.
We did, or very early in some cases.
Yeah.
Sayuri? Sayuri?
Sayuri?
Say your I. Everyone say your I. Last winner for this evening. So congrats to all of our winners. You will be getting these prize packs. And if you're interested in purchasing any of these things, if you didn't win, you can from the gear store. North America and Europe, I believe, right?
Yes.
And don't forget, they are running that 20% off flash sale until the 27th at midnight for all in-stock ESO items. You can purchase any of these things, any of the things we showed off on stream, some of the older items if you haven't had a chance to pick them up yet. And don't forget to sign up to get notified if you want this awesome chair.
For your beautiful Noble chair.
Yeah. Whew. This was a long stream, y'all. Thank you so much for...
Thank you.
Spending time with us today. It's been a really exciting day.
GG's.
Don't forget you can pre-purchase the Blackboard
G.
chapter or the Blackboard collection if you want all of the chapters right now. Blackwood, sorry.
What'd you say?
Not Blackmore. Blackwood chapter. Thank you, Mike, in my ear.
Oh, I muted him. That's why I didn't hear him.
Oh, I
He's
heard
still
him.
muted. There we go.
Thank you, Mike. The Blackwood chapter. You can pre-purchase that now on the official Elder Scrolls site, on your favorite first-party stores, Sony, Microsoft. It's available everywhere. It's coming out June 1st for PC, Mac, Stadia, Steam, and Xbox and PlayStation on June 8th.
Yep.
And just a reminder, again, PTS is tomorrow. It'll probably be up, what would you say, Jana, sometime in the afternoon?
Okay, GG's.
GG's. Yeah, early afternoon, I would say. How's that for an estimate? Maybe like 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. Yeah, maybe around 5, 6. It'll be probably early afternoon Eastern time.
Yes.
If I had to guess. If I was a betting man, I would go with that.
Okay, lots of content.
All right, and as we mentioned, we are going to be posting that combat preview on the forums after the stream. We'll try and get it up as soon as we can. It will be sometime today, promise. Also, if you are in Europe or Australia or any of our other territories outside of North America, our lovely community managers from those areas will be running post shows throughout the next day or so. They're starting tomorrow. I think Australia's first. In a few hours, they're going to be running some post shows, kind of recapping everything. Some will have interviews with some of our developers, so be sure and tune in. Because
I am done with essay after Bethesda again, so to limit the pre-purchase that I
and
did
don't
with the
forget,
mouse that
if
I can't
you
collect.
are linked
Any
with your
more.
Twitch and ESO accounts,
Rainy, you're not the
you
first
have to
person to
claim
come in and
your
said that.
drops. So between the pet and the crate, you do need to go into twitch.tv/drops. Make sure you claim. You have about 24
But
hours.
presumably
to do
you
so,
haven't got
and
every
once
single
you
map
do,
of the
you'll
game.
get your
If you
items
have, then
in
you would know
game.
what would happen with it, right?
I think we did it. I think we did it.
Yes.
We made it. Made it to the end. Thank you. This was a fun
Thank you all so much for joining us for this ESO Live special and the Gates of Oblivion global reveal event.
We did it. It's out. We can finally talk about it. I feel like it's been a secret for so long.
I know. This will be a really fun year.
Yes.
Can't
Thanks,
wait
everyone.
to experience it with you all again. Have a great week.
For sure.
GG's.
Thank you all so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's good. That is very, very good. Right, guys, I'm going to jump off because I have to be up early tomorrow. I'm pleased that I watched that, but at the same time, it is very, very late. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow at some point. Okay, bye for now. Bye.